I ain't friendly. I don't, y'all try to tame who it ain't enough for y'all. So phony got me looking at him sideways. It'll never be the same. Mother, old days. Pretty in the face, but my attitude stank. Either way, they're still good. All right. All right. The right mic. Hopefully, drop a one. And not me talking to myself, talking about drop a one as if anyone is here. I ain't friendly. Pull up in a gangster automobile. What's that song called? I keep a couple of wet wipes in case a bum try to touch me. Ew. I'm the Terminator. Talk slick. I'm gonna have to terminate her. Hi everyone, welcome back to Themis and Thought. Grab your coffee, water, tea, whatever you're drinking, go and get that. I needed to make an announcement. I have to say that you all need to go. The Hafiz from The Roommate is back on the internet, and I've been very just active on his page trying to like figure things out. And so just go over there, give him a watch, give him a support. I think that a lot of people think that I'm like annoyed with Hafiz, so I don't like Hafiz, and that's not the case. I believe fundamentally that Hafiz has potential to be the leader of the manosphere, and I would love for him to actualize that potential. Yeah, someone said I should did it on him. All right, the last verse. And I ain't talking about Phoenix. I get money, so I do's what I pleases. I live where the pools and the trees is. Broke, so dusty, disgust me. Gave the on the continental. Trust me, I keep a couple hundred in the Duffy. Couple wet wipes, case of try to touch me. L. Oh, that's what I was doing. Say a Nicki song, and if I don't know a lyric from the Nicki song, if you drop a Nicki song right now and I don't know the lyrics, then I will give $2 to the first person who I don't know. I'm making things up. Drop the lyric. Drop the song, I mean. Drop a song. I'm gonna do it before we even start this video. I need to annoy people who are coming in so they click off. Absolutely not. You tried it. You absolutely tried it. I tell it. I get more press than a keypad. Can we eat a daddy ding, daddy ding, daddy ding, daddy ding. Oh, itty bitty piggy. All right. Yep. I was on the plane with the wine. You can call me with. Oh, what's the keys? You remember that lady that went after Nicki Minaj? I was on the YouTube, had my little nephew trying to have him Blues Clues. Then I see something about a new little rap. Told me I just had to click that. Then I'm like, oh, but she must got a virus. This is not a rap trick. This is Miley Cyrus. Must be something real because this beat ain't plain. But she on the second verse and still not saying. Then I'm like, oh, my acting right. It's just this girl simply not rapping right. See, I was laying low, y'all. I was on my track. Put it off. I get back to the rap. I'ma let them simmer, then hit them with the fire. But I know this beat with this. I know y'all was listening to this fake a Barbie-ish. I didn't know they was making up words and ish. Anywho, that was a time. That was a time on YouTube. No one even knows no one even knows who Keys was. All right, Thank you all. Let's get it. Good evening. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's giving. It's giving. All right. I'm saying this ain't nothing that you used to. I'm out of the ordinary and usual. You gotta have a mind state like I'm so great, can't nobody do it like you do. Miraculous, phenomenal. Ain't nobody in here stopping you. Show no love, cause you what's up. Look at yourself in the mirror like what the I look good. All right, let's start. I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with me today. I'm in a very rappy mode. Rap, 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 rappity, rap, rap, rap. Brr, da, da. Dang diggy diggy ding da dang da dang wampala billy billy ding da dang da dang. Me a one plus for the money when me got my pants and my shirt and my shoes and my socks and the Benz and my drive and the bling and my watch from time there. Shut up, you need them knock to your girlfriend. What and I'm here slap that when she date. I'm like, you try to collapse gas I don't park. Whoa. Yeah. All right. Jesse. Woo. All right, cool. So today, now that everyone who is not supposed to be here has left, thanks to my beautiful rapping, I probably because I've been drinking so much coffee actually. Let's do it. Sorry. All right, we're going to be talking about Dr. Umar. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm actually packing. I'm in the middle of packing, so please do not let me stay on for more than 2 hours. So let's get quickly into Dr. Umar. There is a clip of Dr. Umar going around. I saw the clip, but I decided to watch the full video. Dr. Umar Ifatunde. Whoa. If Dr. Ifa Tunde came through and he was in some Australian ladies podcast, and we're going to watch it all together. We're going to watch it all together. Period. Skinner skinning. We're going to watch it and engage with it because I haven't seen it. I don't know what. Let me say, I refuse to be disrespected. I refuse to be disrespected by y'all. That's what I'm gonna. I refuse to have y'all disrespect me. I refuse to have y'all disrespect me. Why y'all care about my Christmas decoration? I completely forgot that I had the runners or whatever thrown over the back because I didn't know what to do with them, and I bought a bunch of them. Like I bought a ton of runners because I don't know what to do with them. So I just started throwing them everywhere, and y'all played me. Yes, I took them down. I forgot I had them, and y'all dragged me, so I took them down. girl, I thought I was in my design bag. I thought I was. I thought. I thought. Let me show you something. I took a screenshot because I had a comment that I really wanted to drag. Because I feel like I don't think I should be disrespected like this. I don't know if you'll be able to read this, but look what this person wrote. Oh, you can't see. It says, Themis, that anyway, where is it? Goes, why does Themis think he can do a Christmas decoration behind him with them trash hanging back there? What do you mean them trash hanging back there? Anywho, all right. let's get into this. Just know that I see you and I feel very disrespected by you. I feel very disrespected by you all. Just know that. Just know that. And I will never try to do anything good again. I will never try to up my game again. Just know that. All right, let's get it. Ifatunde. Ifatunde. Bam bam badam. Oh my god, why am I sorry? All right. I need to calm down.
We have American African pan-Africanist, psychologist, motivational speaker, Dr. Umar Ifantunde. How are you?
I'm well, and yourself, Queen?
I'm very well, thank you. I'm so excited to have. I actually can't believe you're here in Australia.
Me either.
On the Bittersweet podcast.
It's been a long time coming.
Is this your first trip here?
First time in Australia. You guys were the last continent. I've done every other continent but you.
How are you liking it?
I love it. I've had a great time so far. I landed in Sydney Thursday morning, didn't see any black.
Someone said Dr. Umar will go on anything. Someone said Dr. Umar just show up anywhere. And that's a period. I love that for him.
People for about 5 hours. I was going to go back to the airport and go back to Philadelphia.
Yeah.
But then I flew to Melbourne and I started seeing African people. So I said, I guess this was not a CIA setup.
So Melbourne's the most that you've seen.
Yes. In Queensland yesterday, we had a great program there as well, but not as many Africans.
Yeah.
Melbourne has been the New York City of Australia.
Melbourne is definitely, and I think over the years, I don't think it would have been the same situation if it was a few years ago.
Okay.
Or I don't know if more people are flying into Melbourne, or we just have more of a culture we're creating more of a culture now as we grow up.
Okay.
So it's beautiful. We love that you're here. We love having you here.
Glad to be here.
I also want to give a big shout out to Magang, who is the founder and owner of By. Can you please help me with
Al-Kabulan.
By Al-Kabulan. Now, guys, I found out about this probably last year, that there is an African historical library here in Australia, here in Melbourne, and it's in the western suburbs in Footscray. So please check it out. I'm going to have all the links in the bios and the descriptions for you guys to donate, because it's an amazing initiative. It's something that we need.
It is, very much so.
So I wanted to get right into the topic with my topics today. I wanted to ask you, before we get into everything, if you can explain a little bit about pan-Africanism.
Pan-Africanism can be summed up in 3 basic principles. Number 1, all African people constitute a single human family. Whether you're in Ethiopia, Nigeria, South Africa, whether you're in Australia, Jamaica, Brazil, whether you're in Texas, New York, Toronto, whether you're in Paris, UK, or Ireland, we are one people. No matter what our religion is, no matter what our nationality is, no matter what language we speak, whether your hair is nappy like mine or more fine like yours, we are still one family, and we should identify as African first. So it's not just enough to know you're African. You must prioritize your Africanity. So you're never a Christian who happens to be an African. You're an African who happens to be a Christian. You're never a Muslim who happens to be an African. You're an African who happens to be a Muslim. And why? God made you African. Your family made you Christians. People leave the church every day. People leave the masjid every day. People renounce their Australian citizenship every day. People renounce their American citizenship every day. You can never renounce being African. God made you black. Being black, being African is the most divine. It is the most sacred group membership you have, and we should prioritize it. That's principle 1. Principle 2, as Africa goes, so goes all African people. If we wonder why in Australia we suffer racism, in America we suffer racism, in the UK, where I was last week, we suffer racism, in Ireland, where I'll be in January, we suffer racism. Why? Because we have not built up Africa to be strong enough to look out for her scattered black children wherever we may be in the world. The Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey, the greatest Pan-Africanist of all, he said that a strong man is strong everywhere. So
the fact that he takes his lead from Garvey, I'm gonna leave that alone, because I don't know how much of that is propaganda, because I do like Garvey's teaching, but I don't have a choice because I was Jamaican, and as a hero in Jamaica, I couldn't escape it. And I still believed it fundamentally, and I was a hotep at one point in my life. So I'm not gonna push back here. It's fine.
As I travel the world, as someone who's been almost just about everywhere, wherever I find Chinese, they're being respected, they're in a position of power. Wherever I find South Asian Indians, they're being respected, they're in a position of power. Wherever I find Anglo-Saxons or European Jews, they're being respected, they're in a position of power. And wherever African people are, even in Africa, We are disrespected and seldom in positions of power. If we want to be strong, if we want to be respected, Africa has to be strong. Africa has to be respected. None of
Demas said the academic dishonesty. No, I'm saying I'm owning ignorance on my part. I have read a lot about the scammeration of it all. And I was going to do a parallel between the school scam and whatever, but I don't think that's fair. Because I've always had question.
of us can do better than the continent we come from. Take care of the mother, and the mother will take care of her children. Principle number 3, self-determination. Everything that is to be done for African people must be done by African people. We build our organizations exclusively with Black people. We fund our organizations exclusively with Black money. We build our families exclusively with Black women and Black men. Everything must be all Black everything. Self-determination. You don't see Jews begging Chinese to help them. You don't see Indians begging Arabs to help them. You don't see Anglo-Saxons begging Latinos to help them. And Black people, African people, got to stop begging other people to help us do what we need to learn how to do for ourselves. Self-determination breeds self-respect.
Can the two things coexist when you say religion and
By the way, I do agree with this. I think that self-determination does breed self-respect. The context of America makes it very difficult because there's a governmental system. So I do fundamentally appreciate and agree with this idea that self-determination breeds self-respect. I don't have a problem there. People keep donating to him and he keep not building the school. And so he preaches a very specific type of separatist ideology. And fine, whatever, you can have your likes or dislikes with that. But the problem here is when they give you the money as the leader of whatever dusty movement is, whatever movement is happening, you didn't do anything with it.
our race? So you know,
Absolutely.
You said, okay, so you know how you said you're Black first.
Yes.
Can you be both first?
You can't be both first because
Why?
religion is an institution. Don't confuse religion with God. That's a big mistake people make.
Yeah.
Religion is an institution created by man to serve the needs of men. When the Arabs invaded North Africa and conquered our northern territory, they had no man.
You don't. You don't. So if you are thinking that within the Black context, Pan-Africans are saying, pick yourself up by the bootstrap, you would be correct. However, there's a separate element of that says that Black people have been wronged, right? And so because we've been wronged, we are owed something. And I don't know that demanding the thing that you own, i.e. reparations, for example, I don't think demanding that is inconsistent with picking yourself up by the bootstraps. You know what I mean? I actually think that, yeah, I don't think that's inconsistent. However, there is a different element here. So like independent nations, independent people should pick themselves up. But within the context of America, asking the government to do what the government is designed to do when it comes to helping its people, I don't think that is saying you need to. I don't think that's inconsistent with sort of Pan-Africanism, because you live in a context. Oh my God, I was about to do the Kamala Harris, VP Harris statement about the context.
Mandate from God to do that. When the Europeans took Christianity and used it to justify the transatlantic slave trade, they had no mandate from God to do that. So we have to recognize religion is an institution that is separate from the Almighty Creator. Religion purports to be about helping you build a relationship with the Almighty Creator, but there's no greater mistake you can ever make than to confuse a man-made institution with the Almighty God. Religion is religion.
Yeah.
God is God. And the two can coexist because as Pan-Africanists, we believe in freedom of religion. Marcus Garvey was a Christian.
Yeah.
El Hajj Malik El Shabazz Malcolm X was a Muslim.
Yeah.
So we believe in freedom of religion. I have no issue with your religion unless your deity looks like your enemy. So if you run around with a white Christ, we got a problem. Because as Pan-Africanists, we believe in self-determination. Jesus should look like me. because I'm African. Not only should Jesus look like me because I'm African, Jesus was an African, and Jesus was born in a cave in Ethiopia. And it wasn't until the Nicene Council of 325 that Emperor Constantine changed that fact and said Jesus was born in a manger in Bethlehem. Prior to the Nicene Council of 325, the whole world knew that Jesus was a blue, black, purple African who was born in Ethiopia.
The knowledge. Okay, I wanted to talk about quickly before I jump into the bulk of this episode.
I want to know why he named Garvey out of all the other Pan-Africanists, black to black Pan-Africanist or black to Africa visionary. Is that the only one he knows? No, I think it's the most recognizable. I think Garvey, like Marcus Garvey, is the most recognizable figure. If you asked me, I too would have named Garvey. I would have also named Garvey. Sushi, thank you. Thank you for being a member for 19 months.
I want to talk about self-determination because I went to your lecture on Saturday and you spoke about how we shouldn't be taking money from the white man or these organizations, right? But I think a lot of the times we need to look at where we are positioned as Black people, as a community, and we don't really have the privileges, especially let's talk about Australia. We haven't been here for as long as these other cultures have been here for. So we haven't established organizations or systems for ourselves right yet. So there are grants, there's funding, there's things that we need to accept to be able to build ourselves as a community. And I remember a woman asking you about that and you said the opposite. So can you talk about why you think that's not, like, why we shouldn't be doing that? Yeah.
The hand that pays is the hand that rules. You can't show me any people in human history at any time, any color, on any continent who empowered themselves using the funding of the very government that oppresses and marginalizes them. It doesn't happen. Now, if you say, Dr. Umar, I'm getting funding from the Australian government to work with young girls, I'm not going to criticize that. I'm getting funding from the Australian government to reduce violence in our community. I'm not going to criticize that. I'm getting funding from an Australian business or bank or corporation to help the homeless women. I'm not going to criticize that. But if you say, I am a frontline pan-Africanist organization that's fighting for freedom, justice, and equality for the Australian African, then it becomes a contradiction. You cannot be a frontline revolutionary or frontline activist group who's fighting for freedom, justice, and equality for all Australian Africans and take money from the government. That's a contradiction. But if you're only taking money to service a certain issue or challenge or concern in our community, I will be patient with you because you're serving a need that needs to be met. But then my bigger...
Chelsea, Wealthy, thank you so much for being a member for 23 months. I appreciate that. I don't think he understands when people say money is fungible. So even if you're like, I'm taking money to go help do this one specific thing that he's talking about, if the organization is taking money, they're taking... this is not what I care about. I don't care about his Pan-African stuff. Like, I really don't.
The question would be, how long are you going to be on this financial umbilical cord to your oppressor? Until you get to the point where you can finance that program yourself. In other words, Queen, I can tolerate us getting the funding to some extent, especially our women, right? But what is the exit date? What is the freedom date? What is the emancipation date? Can you tell me where and when are you projecting to cut off the funding from the Caucasian and start funding yourself?
Well, I think it's, you can. Like, I think if
when we have our own, I will collect the funding until we have our own. What of it? What of it? What of it? Please explain. Until we have our own, I'll be taking the funding. What do you mean? What do you mean? You think I'm just going to be out in the street begging? Like, what do you... No. We pay taxes. That's not... This is how dumb this is. You don't escape paying taxes. You don't escape actually investing in the system, and then you are not supposed to get anything out of it. Like, what do you mean? It's like someone who is paying into unemployment, then they lose their job and they're afraid to go get their unemployment. Like, what? No. Walk in with your head up and go collect that check. You paid into it. What do you mean? Ew. Like, no. Absolutely not. Don't listen to this man. Unless he's telling you to opt out completely out of the system of government that you live under. If you're paying tax, you should be getting something in return. What do you mean? Ew.
if you take it for seed funding to build a business, like look, let's talk about this podcast and this studio. I think to build it and to grow a community at the beginning, it's necessary because we don't have the resources. And then after some time where you've built an established brand or you've built an like you've built something, you can then start to ask people you can then start to actually create a business that's like running on its own, or having people that or have people want to donate towards the business or put money into it.
I can agree with your strategy, but when you say it's necessary,
yes, I think it's necessary.
I would push back to some extent. You know why? I'm willing to bet that Australian Africans, and I'm speaking collectively of everyone, from the Ethiopians to the South Sudanese and everyone in between, I'm sure they're buying Christmas gifts. I'm sure they're going to musical concerts. I'm sure they're going to nightclubs. I'm sure they're smoking marijuana and drinking. I'm sure they're buying Nikes and Christian Dior and Gucci and Louis Vuitton. I'm sure they're driving Mercedes and BMWs. So don't tell me it's necessary to take government funding, because if you have money to buy the things you want, you certainly have money to fund the things you need.
Facts. What if we're not doing both?
Not facts. There's no facts there. What do you mean you shouldn't take funding from the government? I don't understand what he's talking about. I understand wanting independence. We're not there yet. We don't have the infrastructure. And I'm saying we as if I'm a part of whatever dusky tribe he's trying to build. But there is no infrastructure. There is no leader. There is not the knowledge in terms of the pillars of a society, which includes education, banking, and healthcare. Sorry, education, banking, and healthcare. We don't got. No.
I don't think there are people that are going clubbing. There can be people that are going clubbing there can be people that are not going clubbing and putting money towards their passion instead, but don't have enough funds to do that.
I'm sure.
Yes.
But I'm speaking as a community.
As a community.
Because we should act as a community.
And listen to this though, as a community, unfortunately, we're not seeing I feel like it takes us a while to see each other as credible. We don't put money.
I take your point, Themis. However, his point is that although you are collecting what's due to you, it's not without condition on how, where, and when the funds can be used or risk penalty. Yeah, and you need to figure out what restrictions you're okay with and what you're not okay with, and that will determine how much and what kind of funding you get. But it doesn't make sense to completely opt out. Now, there's a part of this where he says that you need to have an end date. So he's okay with sort of taking as long as there's an exit strategy. And that's fine, except we don't know when the exit date is going to be, because we don't know what is going to happen, how much you're going to need, how things are going to change, force majeure, and all of that. And the idea that you spend money on things that make you happy, and you shouldn't because you have bigger fish to fry, I can sympathize with that idea, but you're still a human existing. You're going to buy things that you need and things that you want, and you might not have at the forefront donating to Dr. Umar's school because Dr. Umar has been scamming people for 10 years straight. And so you might not have the kind of faith in a Dr. Umar building a school for Black boys like other people do, allegedly. The scamming, allegedly.
Money into ourselves until we get to a certain point. We don't do that. And so if it takes taking money from funding bodies to do that and to build and then going to the community, then that's what it takes.
But here's what I want you to see. I want you to recognize that in your argument, when you say necessary, it's not necessary. It's because we don't prioritize what we need to be doing that it becomes necessary. In other words, if the Australian African community wanted to fund itself, we could. We choose not to. And that's why you're getting the funding. So the funding from the government is a consequence of the fact that we're not prioritizing Black excellence. Yay.
I can agree to it.
Yay.
I can agree to it.
Yay.
Let's move on. Let's move on to the bulk of this topic, because I know we don't have that much time. I wanted to talk to you about Black love.
Yes.
I feel like there is a war between Black men and Black women. I think that
the premise of your question, your statement, or what is going to be a question, is incorrect. There's not a war between Black men and Black women. A war implies that there are two forces going at each other and destroying each other. Only one of those forces is dying. So one could liken it to a massacre. One could call it, I don't know, something of a femicide, maybe put black in front of the word femicide, and then you will have what is actually happening. But I don't know what's happening in Australia. So maybe there is a war where black men and black women in Australia are going back and forth at each other and they're both unaliving each other. I don't know if that's happening in Australia, but there's not a war between black men and black women in America. Black women are being abused, used, and discarded. That's what is happening. It's not a war. And we need to get the language very clear. Maybe there's a war of words online, but it's not a war.
A lot of the dilemmas that get sent in from my listeners talk about, it's about women talking about struggling to find a man, struggling to date.
Struggling to find what kind of
man?
To
find a black man.
What kind of black man?
What do you mean, what kind of black man?
What kind of black man? Struggling to find what kind of black man?
Okay, let's talk about it.
Black men all in Australia.
No, we have.
So what kind of black men are you struggling to find? Are you struggling to find a millionaire? Are you struggling to find somebody who's 6'3" with a six-pack stomach?
No.
Are you struggling to find someone who can finance a European expensive materialistic lifestyle?
No.
What kind of black man are you struggling to find?
Let's talk about the culture in Australia versus the culture in America. I don't think it is quite different. It is. I think now we're being more influenced.
One of the biggest mistakes that I find in the diaspora is we swear we're so randomly different. As probably the most traveled African in the Western Hemisphere, we're not that significantly different.
No, but we are.
No, we're not. No, we're not.
I don't think black women. Okay, let's talk about it, because I'm getting dilemmas where women are talking about they're successful, they're in their careers, and they're looking for a decent guy. They're not asking for a man to earn triple the amount that he's earning.
Decent? Give me 3 criteria for decent. I'm a psychologist. You must define the term. Give me 3 criteria for decent.
So he's emotionally intelligent.
Emotionally intelligent.
Okay.
Assuming she is as well.
Continue. He is a provider. So he's able to, he has a decent job. They're on the same.
What is a decent job? Define the term.
He makes an amount that is in the same tax bracket as the woman. Let's just say that. Same tax bracket.
Okay.
Emotionally
Financial
intelligent.
Equity.
Yes.
Okay.
I would just say he's a provider, he's nurturing, and he cares to build a family with her.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the question?
And the question is, women are struggling to find men that they can date.
Okay. Couple things. Number 1, black women cannot, shall not, should not expect a black man to be able to provide them with the same type of a lifestyle that a Caucasian can provide for the white female, because the Caucasian benefits from white privilege, the black man suffers from white racism. So,
okay, yeah, then don't date him. If the black man suffers so much from racism that he cannot provide for you and your family, don't date him. I know Dr. Umar, next couple words will be, unfortunately, the black man cannot provide for black women a lifestyle that white men provide for white women. And if that's what you want as a black woman, then don't date black men. I think problem solved. You want to know what's really toxic? As I was talking, the lady never said at any point that black women wanted black men to provide for black women the life that white men provide for white women. At no point did she say that, unless they edited her saying that out of the clip. In fact, she said that she wanted, and these women are looking for someone who is emotionally intelligent and a provider. He asked her to explain what a provider is. She broke down provider to someone who has a decent job. He then asked her to further break that down, and she said someone in her tax bracket, or in the women's tax bracket as a professional. With black women suffering from sexism and racism, it is odd to me that black women would want someone on their level. So this is seemingly a 50-50 relationship dynamic. And Umar is saying they can't do it. Because in truth, I don't care nothing about Umar talking about black men can provide for black women what white men provide for white women. The lady never asked that. The lady asked for a man in her financial bracket. That is it. There was not a comparative analysis between black and white. She just wanted, and said women wanted, a man in their tax bracket. He wants to say Well, you can't find that. You have to lower your standard. And instead of saying that, he reinterprets what she says, convoluted, and then shoves out some foolishness about don't expect black men to be able to provide for you what white men provide for white women. Okay, then go find a white man to provide for you what white men provide for white women. If black men can't do it and you want it, then go do it. Go find someone to do it for you, because white men apparently can't.
Okay, couple things. Number one, black women cannot, shall not, should not expect a black man to be able to provide them with the same type of a lifestyle that a Caucasian can provide for the white female, because the Caucasian benefits from white privilege, the black man suffers from white racism. So we should not be, no sister.
Does black women not suffer? Does black women not suffer from racism? There's an added women element of suffering that comes for black women. But let's stop for 2 seconds at racism. Does black women not? Because what she is asking for is a man on her level. That's it. That is it. What is the problem with that? She can do it under a system of white supremacy, but he can't.
Should be looking for a European equivalent or an African equivalent of a European. A black man has to work twice as hard to get half as much. So although I can appreciate the financial equity, but if you are a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer as an African woman in Australia or America or the UK or Toronto or Johannesburg, looking for a black man who has financial equity with your type of career success, that's going to be difficult.
Y'all, looking for a black man with your career success is going to be difficult. Got it. Okay, go date other men. You don't have to lower your, no, I'm in his world. I'm not even saying that it's true. I'm in his world. Why would you date him? That don't make sense. Black men can't do that. That's weird. That's a weird thing to say. Under a system of white supremacy, black women are doing it. What do you mean? He's not wrong, mind you. Statistically, he's not wrong, but what does that mean for you?
Might got to tone it down a little bit. What I find as a therapist who works with couples, married, divorced, and otherwise, too often black women prioritize a man's income over his masculinity.
A man's income is tied to his masculinity and patriarchy. If you want to divorce a man's income from his masculinity, then okay, fine, do that. We don't care. There's still a capitalistic society here. And it is gaslighting as H-E-L-L. This is disgusting as H-E-L-L. To know the stats about the group of women who date down the most, statistically, black women are the group of women who date down the absolute most. And for you to say black women prioritizes men's income too much, that is diabolical. They don't prioritize it at all. And for me, enough. Like, what do you mean? Wait. You're shaming the group of women who literally do not look at men's income and take care of men generally. That is wild. This is insanity. This is insanity. Most of the money he has to build a school for boys came from black women. Black women invest in the community. Black women get famous like Nicki Minaj, Sherry Shepherd, Wendy Williams, and they marry down. They date down. They take care of dusties. Most of the black Hollywood starlets right now are currently dating down. Most black women date down. This is insanity. This is absolute insanity. Is masculinity a deep voice? Like, what do you mean? You income instead of masculinity. How you achieve masculinity in this patriarchal society that is predicated on capitalism? without money.
Looking for a black man who has financial equity with your type of career success, that's going to be difficult. You might got to tone it down a little bit. What I find as a therapist who works with couples, married, divorced, and otherwise, too often black women prioritize a man's income over his masculinity, meaning he might can provide. He's willing to help with those children. He will nurture you, look out for you, but he might not be able to put you in a Mercedes. He might not be able to help you with that $1 million mortgage. And I've seen black women.
Yeah, what is this man talking about $1 million mortgage and a Mercedes? The lady said these women want someone who is on their economic level. This is a 50-50 relationship, but they want them to be comparable. Why are you talking about $1 million home and Mercedes? And what are you doing? Like, I wish she would be like, what are you talking about? Like, I wish she would let him go on the soliloquy and then go like, what? I said none of that. That's cute, but I said none of that. I thought he worked in high school. Apparently he's doing marriage counseling now. So there is that.
Women turned down good men, very good men, because he didn't have the economics, but he had everything else. Sisters need to be careful not to fall into this European narrative of judging men primarily by how much they make.
All right. The clip that I saw says the direct opposite. So he says, quote, sisters should be careful. Let me just put careful and then summarize here. Not to use European standards to judge black men. All right, cool. So sisters should not use European standards to judge black men. Got it. Because they shouldn't be looking for money. Hear what he says, because this is in direct contradiction in my book to what he says about what white women do.
I can agree with that. I think that these are two extreme scenarios here, because I think if a man we're talking about financial equity, if he is making enough to build a household with you, to be a leader in the household, I think women are okay with that. I think that's not what they're getting.
I think part of the problem, women ignore me. For all my submissive queens out there, ignore this. Because you're going to drag me, but it is what it is. Part of the problem is y'all sitting up here talking about oh my God, I need to submit and he need to lead. Why are you leading you? Y'all sit up on No, yeah, I'm going to do it. How are y'all sitting up on podcasts talking about these men not going to school? They're not emotionally intelligent. They don't care. They don't like you. They treat you poorly. They have nothing. They do nothing. They give nothing, subjugation, all of that. While also saying, yeah, you know what? How is he's going to lead me? If women as a group generally are outperforming men academically, economically, or whatever, and it is a new economy, right? So it's still showing. It hasn't been the case that women have surpassed men, but more women are going to school and less men are going to school. So the trajectory is there, right? Why are you sitting up there talking about you want to be led? Like, oh my God, he gonna come lead me. This is why these men sit up there. You know what? I'm going to leave that alone. Talking about you want to be led. We are, as a group of men, failing. Last night, we sat here and watched men after men after men come up there to ask for advice and were incapable of forming basic sentences. Literal. Women are outperforming men in the new economy. And women are still looking at men as a group talking about they should be leading them.
I think they're getting the other end of the spectrum. That's what we're hearing. You know what I mean?
You have a problem if you met a man who made half of what you made or a third of what you made, but he had a financial vision of an empire, a business, some sort of an entrepreneurial undertaking.
See, I think that's dangerous.
Absolutely not. If you have a vision, unless you're Raven Simone, we don't care. Unless you're seeing Zion in a vision, girl, we don't care. What do you mean? Oh my God. Are you really going to sit there and try to chastise this woman for not wanting to date someone who have just a vision. The graveyard is filled with people who have visions. It could be visions of the future, visions of dead people, visions of the past, vision of God, vision of hell. I don't care about you and your vision. What vision? What if you meet a man who had a vision? Well, he needs to go actualize the vision and then go back to that woman. What do you mean? What is she going to do with a vision? Can this vision provide for him and her and their children? Can the vision sustain them? What if you meet him? How dare y'all? How absolutely dare grown men in a patriarchy telling a woman that they need to stick by a man who has a vision? Kanye West been told ya. Kanye West told you all about build a man up and what he does when you build him. And Kanye turned around and did the thing.
Enough to build a household with you, to be a leader in the household. I think women are okay with that. I think that's not what they're getting. I think they're getting the other end of the spectrum. That's what we're hearing. You know what I mean?
You have a problem if you met a man who made half of what you made or a third of what you made, but he had a financial vision of an empire, a business, some sort of an entrepreneurial undertaking.
See, I think that's dangerous.
I think
that's dangerous.
Let me finish it, and then I want you to respond. And he needed you to help invest in his dream. And he gave you a definitive timeline. He said, give me 12 months or 24, no more than that. If you invest in me, I promise you what I'm going to build will equal where you are. Would you have a problem investing in?
If you invest in a man who tells you to give them exactly 1 year to 2 years, and you give them money for them to get a plan that will surpass or get to you. If you give them that money, you did not want that money, and you should not be crying about that money. If you give men money to invest in them because you think they're going to make money, as much money, girl, why can't he go to the bank? Why can't this man go to the bank to take out a business loan? Why can't he do that? Why couldn't he do it on his own? Why does he need your money? In a patriarchal white supremacist system, a black woman who is doubly oppressed needs to donate money to this man, because that's what Umar is also doing. But he's just doing it with a bunch of different women. Why would you as a woman be investing money in a man for him to get a business plan? So hopefully one day in the far, far future, this ghost and phantom building, this phantom business, he can bring it back to you and bring money back to you. Why would you do that? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No. Stop doing that. I feel like this works for low self-esteem women, actually. Unfortunately, people take advantage of women who have been desperate, and this world pushes women to have low self-esteem, and then men come in, capitalize off of that, and then move on. And that's unfortunate. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. Imagine flying to Australia to tell a lady you don't know to lower her standards. Yuck. Sally Joe, thank you for being a member for a month. I appreciate that. Oh, I haven't forgotten about him. Let me show you how much I haven't forgotten about him. This is how much I haven't forgotten about him. This. I have not, I promise, I have not forgotten about Paul Bruson. I should have saved the clip. I'm gonna take that clip. I'm gonna use that clip. Talking about the just ew.
In him.
What does investing in him mean?
Let's say he needed $700 a month to help fuel this.
Girl, why I thought this man was gonna say, what if he needs $700 to borrow? And I'm about to say, absolutely not. No, don't give, it's not a lot of money, but don't give him $700. He said $700 a month. Wait, $700 a month for 2 years is nasty work. If you sit up there, please do not come tell me that. If you come to me like, oh, I gave him $700 a month, and then why? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Dr. Umar is out of pocket. I think Dr. Umar is trolling. I honestly believe. I believe Dr. Umar. You're not gonna convince me Dr. Umar not trolling. You're not gonna convince me Dr. Umar is not trolling. What do you mean you need to give him an allowance, a monthly allowance of $700 a month? Is there interest on this? Is there a contract? And if there is interest and if there is a contract, he needs to go qualify for that at the bank. You need to go to the bank for that. You need to go call Mama and them. You need to go call Anna and them. You need to go call them to get that investment. Absolutely not. You need to go rob a bank, girl. What do you mean? The graveyard is filled with people who had visions, girl. Who had visions and $700 a month from a woman who desperately needed just a warm body beside her. Because why would you be giving? At that point, you're paying the man to be there. At that point, the man is a. At that, I mean, if you pay him $700 a month, is this a loan with interest? Like, what do you mean? I feel like Dr. Umar want to say drizzle, drizzle right now. I feel like at the tip of his tongue, he wants to say drizzle, drizzle. He has to be. Has to be. At the tip of his tongue, he has to be wanting to say drizzle, drizzle. Ain't no way he looking this woman dead in her eye, telling her she need to pay a man $700 a month to be with her. Because what business? If you need $700 a month to invest in your business, which is like $1,600, let's round it up, $20,000. If you can't get $20,000 from the bank or somewhere else than the person you're with to build your business, absolutely not. Don't build it. Don't build it. Is Dr. Umar updating us about the school? Didn't Dr. Umar said it would definitely be open this year? I mean, we still have a couple more days this year. I have faith. Girl, someone said he might not have credit. Why would you invest in a man's company where the man has no credit? Why would you ever do that? How is this business going to be legitimate? How old is this man? We have till the 31st, girl. We have till the 31st. Maybe it's a late opening. The grand opening gonna be on Christmas, girl. He has a vision of having yourself girl. You know how was it Georgia? Do you remember there was a thing to give Black women $700 a month in Georgia? Maybe maybe Umar was like, girl, how can I get that $700? How can Black men get that $700? I feel like there's some woman back there. I'm pretty sure there's some woman taking notes right now as we speak. Dr. Umar said $700 a month for 2 years for his business. He wants to do a rap career. Is that really a business? I don't know, but let me invest that. You know, he might pop off. Is that the phrase pop off? He might pop off. Right. Why can't he give Chase? Why can't he give the bank his plan? No, why can't the bank? Why can't you go to the legitimate route and go to the bank for this? Just go to the bank. Get your business plan together and go to the bank.
This dream, he needed $700 for 24 months. Could you do it? You're reluctant.
I am reluctant because what's the
Girl, why you say you're reluctant? Isn't this easy to trick women? That's easy to trick women. Because no, I'm not reluctant. It's absolutely not. HELLNO. Absolutely not. Yeah, no, it's not reluctance you see on my face. It's disgust. It is disgust. If I have to pay my partner $700 a month to be with me and build his business, it's a no. He probably needs to go to school for business, learn to develop a business plan, build his credit, and then go to the bank and do that on his own. And nobody's sitting up here giving a random man $700 a month for no reason. Are you reluctant? No, I'm not reluctant. It's a no. I'm just disgusted by the fact that you would even approach me with such a foolishness. This man might not have a job. He might not have a school, but he does have audacity. He does. He does have audacity. So I can't expect them to provide, but they expect me to provide $700 per month on a hope and a prayer. Love, does the bank take love as pay? Yeah. This is so weird because he's requesting that women support men, and then he's chastising women for wanting men to support them. This man has an issue because Black men cannot, in his world, this is not my word, this is him. Black men can succeed in America. Black men can succeed in the world. The white man boot is on our neck. We can't do anything. It's just not possible for you to find a man who is as successful as you. Therefore, you can't expect a man to provide. What you can do, however, is provide for the man. What? What you can do is provide. So you, in the same conversation, you're telling this woman not to expect men to provide. She should provide for. Absolutely not. Loans and credit are white men's people. Black queens forever, snow bunnies never. Is that something he says?
What's the guarantee?
I don't think Dr. Umar respects Black women. I don't think Dr. Umar respects or even likes Black women or care for Black women. A man who cares for someone is going to want to take care of that person. I promise you this with everything in me. One of the hardest things for me to do, even with my friends, if you're a woman and we go out together, I don't even want you to buy your own food. It is weird to me. Like when I think about the women in my life that I care about, like I actually like the idea that they even suffer or that they have to do things that they don't like. It kills a part of me to sit up there and say, oh, I love Black women, but also Black women you need to pay and take care. That is weird. That is weird. Like you don't like them. You are using Black women. You're using Black women to fund Black men. That's weird. That is wild. And then you're like, my African goddess, queen, princess. If they're your queen, princess, goddess, then serve them then. Like, that is weird. Stop doing that. Like, ugh. And women are just sitting there eating that foolishness up. Like, yeah, how are you this comfortable sitting there telling women to provide for men? Ugh.
There's no guarantees in love. There is no guarantees in romance.
And
If
also,
you need a guarantee,
Girl, wait. Yeah, wait. Did this woman, I think I missed it. Did this lady ask what are the guarantees after you give him that money? And Dr. Umar says there's no guarantee in love. There is no. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. That contract though.
he said, give me 12 months or 24, no more than that. If you invest in me, I promise you what I'm going to build will equal where you are. Would you have a problem investing in him?
What does investing in him mean?
Let's say he needed $700 a month to help fuel this dream. He needed $700 for 24 months. Could you do it? You're reluctant.
I
Tell
am
me why you're
reluctant. I am
Tell me why.
reluctant because what's the guarantee?
There is no guarantees in love. There is no guarantees in romance.
And
If
also,
you need a
I think
guarantee,
I
you
think
can't get in it.
context matters.
There is no guarantee. For 24 months, you need to give this man $700, but there is no guarantee in love. He did say 700, right? You're just asking you're just asking for Luigi to come visit you, is what you're like. What do you mean? Imagine giving a man $700 a month of your hard-earned money, and then at the 24th month he go, look, there's no guaranteed love. This is what I feel like. This is what Umar is telling you all about the school. I feel like this is what Umar is saying about the school. Look, there's no guarantee about a school. There's no guarantee about a building. There's no guarantee about caring for the kids. Girl, nobody. No guarantee. In the conversation where you're begging for money, when you're on your knees crying and begging and pleading for someone to help you get the foot off your neck, to then say, all right, I'll give you this money. What guarantee can you give me? And your response is, there's no guarantee in love. I feel like this is honesty. And if you donate, if you give this man your money, you didn't want it. You did not want it. Let me check on my flight, y'all. Ain't nobody got time for Dr. Umar.
Matters. How long have we been together?
I agree.
You know, if it's just a guy that I met last year and all of a sudden he has these dreams and he wants
y'all been
me to
dating
fund
for
it.
about 2 years. You like him. There might even be some love there. And he's saying
there might be some love there is crazy. There has to be some love there.
Let's say there
has to be a future there. And I think that's what I'm saying. Context matters. If I see myself with
but
this
you didn't
man,
answer the question.
There might be so. Why would she be giving him money if there might be? Wait, Dr. Umar. I feel like Dr. Umar actually think black women should be supporting black men. Just period. What do you mean? There might be some love there when you're telling this woman to give. The world that you have created, where a woman is donating to a man for months for his development because they're dating, you say there might be some love there. Oh, he does not respect y'all at all, actually. There might be some love there is wild. I think you have to understand how deeply concerning that. What do you mean there might be some love there? Why would she be doing it? I'm assuming you're thinking. So I can't expect them to provide, but they say, yeah. I just read that. Sorry.
Say all those things are there. Will you financially invest in him? Be honest, my queen. They already answered for you. They said hell to the nizzo.
Yeah. Look.
Why not though? Why do you have a problem with that? Given the atmosphere of racism and economic oppression that black men.
No. You don't get to use racism and white supremacy and oppression. If black men are that oppressed, then maybe they shouldn't be dating. If we are that oppressed, so black women should lift black men up. I don't believe. Here's one of the problems I don't like. It feels like Dr. Umar understands fully racism, but completely ignores sexism. So for, what was it, Jada Pinkett Smith was talking about Tupac, right? Was it her book? where she was like, I'm pretty sure it was, where she said that they would talk in depth about, they would have these long conversations about racism, but whenever she brought up, whenever she brought up sexism and misogyny, he blanked out and he would not engage with it. Yeah, I feel like that was the book. This is like Dr. Umar is sitting up here saying, "Oh, black men have to face racism." Yeah, like black women, but you want black women to support black men? That is insane. That is insane. Did the couple therapist say there might be some love? Yep, he sure did. You should definitely support this man, but there might be some love. I still don't understand why black women are still dating black men. How many times do they have to keep showing they do not love black women? The funny thing is, I feel like I can limit this to Dr. Umar and Dr. Umar's statement, and this just feels like straight up hatred for black women. Like, it feels like black women are like a pocketbook. Who said pocketbook? No, I keep saying it. And you just go check into black women whenever you want money. Yeah, if he, it sounds like if he needs $700, he's not self-sufficient, and she's gonna have to take care of him. So in addition to giving him the $700, is he sleeping in your house? Is he eating your food? Like, absolutely not. I'm disgusted. Thank you. I'm disgusted.
And suffer in Australia. Why would you have a problem?
But what are black
investing
men
in your
subject
king?
to that women are not? We're
Say that
going through
again.
the same thing.
True, but it operates differently. The racism against black men is significantly more aggressive than the racism against black women. Now, I don't want to get into an oppression Olympics because I agree with you. We all suffer and we.
No. Let him get into the oppression Olympics. No. You don't say, oh, we suffer the same, and then go, oh, but the racism against black women is different than the racism against black men that is more aggressive. Okay, let's talk about, I'll give you, racism against black men is more aggressive than the racism against black women being unalived and all of that. We need to crunch the numbers because you need to show me, you need to prove that to me in an actual debate, right? You need to prove that to me. But beyond that, let's talk about sexism then. Let's talk about the abuse of black women and who is doing it, at whose hands. So you want black women to support people who are abusing them. It is weird to me that you can so overtly talk about racism, but you don't want to get into it because you don't want to have to explain it. Okay, I'll give you racism, add sexism to it, and ask me who is winning this quote unquote oppression Olympics. And this woman is sitting across from this man talking about she wants this man to lead. How are you? Oh God. Calm down. You want black women to take care of you, lift you up, in the words of Rihanna, raise you up. And these black women running around talking about they want you to lead. And you talking about your leaders. Where? I don't see it yet. Is the leader in the room with y'all? It ain't in here. Let me give you a different angle. Let's look from a different angle. Let's look from a different angle to see if it's in the room with us. Is it in? I'm so annoying. The fact that I learned this through a mistake is wild.
Suffer together, but a man's primary responsibility is to be a provider, and we don't feel adequate as men when we can't provide. So your king, who you love, who you've been dating for 2 or 3 years.
Wait, the man's first priority is to be a provider. So he can provide. He can provide. Wait, he can provide. So you need to help him. What? He can't provide. So you can wait. These men ain't that smart. I'm so sorry. So the fact that they got y'all out here.
More aggressive than a racism against black women. Now, I don't want to get into an oppression Olympics because I agree with you. We all suffer and we suffer together. But a man's primary responsibility is to be a provider. And
the man's primary responsibility is to be a provider. You want, in the beginning, he said, divorce masculinity from economics, from the man's ability to provide his income, right? Then he's saying the man's primary responsibility is to be a provider. So we should divorce the man's primary responsibility from the man. What? Like, yeah, make this make sense for me.
we don't feel adequate as men when we can't provide. So your king, who you love,
sucks to suck. If you think your primary role is to be a provider and you don't feel adequate as a man because you can't provide, sounds like a you problem, honestly. Honestly, like, it sounds like a you problem. What I got to do with her? What does that have to do with that with her? I don't understand how women are expected to provide for you when there is patriarchy and white supremacy, and you only suffer from racism and not patriarchy, and you are misogyny, and you are asking her to provide for you.
who you've been dating for 2 or 3 years, is saying, baby, invest in me for these 18 to 24 months, and I promise you I will cross that finish line. You're still reluctant.
I'm reluctant. I'm reluctant. As my husband, if we were married and something like that happened, of course, I would be open to doing that.
But would you be open to even marrying him if he was not the provider you needed him to be? He's saying, help me level up so I can become the person you want to marry. He's asking you to help him level up.
I think
level up, level up, level up, level up, level up. I don't even know what to say to this. So y'all not even in a marriage. Y'all not even in a y'all not even in a marriage. And he's saying just do it. There might be love there. Y'all not married. There's no guarantee. But also, can you lend me $700 a month? Not even $700. Like, it's one thing to ask for a one-off, but to have a monthly stipend is nasty work. To record.
Let me tell you why you're reluctant. And I don't have a problem with your reluctance, but I want to explain something.
Okay.
And I want all my young sisters to hear me. A big difference between the snow bunny and the African queen is the snow bunny will find a black man in progress. She will find him on the job. She will find him on the university. And that snow bunny will see a black man with potential and she will invest in him. She will help him level up. And then when the sister see him 5 years ago, 5 years later, he's a millionaire. And the sister say, look at that sellout. He went and got a white girl. But guess what? When he was looking for a sister to help him level up, to invest in him, none of them wanted it. You know why? Too many black women want a finished product. Black women have to, stay with me. Black women have to stop expecting men to be a finished product. It's harder on us. Help him level up. Stay with me. Help him level up and become what you need him to be. Because the big reason why these snow bunnies are running off with black men is they're meeting them when they have nothing, but they believe in their vision. And black women are waiting for him to cross the finish line. And by the time he crosses the finish line, the snow bunny done snatched him already.
I disagree.
Girl, why are you saying you disagree? Just say, okay, go with them. Good luck, good riddance. Like, why would you be arguing? I disagree. No. Then period. Go with your snow bunny. Snow bunnies help you level up. By the way, this is the same Dr. Umar that says, why don't you see poor black men with rich white women? Mind you, as the same one on the Charlemagne Dusty show that said this. Please remember that in the beginning, this is the clip that I saw. In the beginning of this, Dr. Umar said that we should not use European standards to judge black men. We should not do what white women do to men, to black men, right? So in his paradigm in the beginning, the need for men to have money is a Eurocentric ideal, but when it serves him in the argument, he switches this and say black women are the ones who want a finished product. This is in direct contradiction. That is directly contradictory to the initial statement that he made about what Europeans and white people do, white women in particular, but it doesn't serve his interest now to gaslight black women and make black women fear that their quote-unquote men are going to be taken by other groups of women. So he is weaponizing your need for proximity to black men and say, if you don't take care of black men, some other race of women will. So since black men need to be taken care of by a group of women, then make some other group of women do it. That's wild. If you're up here defending this and thinking, oh my God, let me go grab my black man and take care of my black man, that is wild. We are not children. We are smarter. We can do it. It does not take that much. If black women can do it, black men can do it. The fact that you're talking about a white supremacist system and ignoring the fact that black women are thriving in this white supremacist system, at least more than black men, and you're telling black women that they need to take care of a man is wild. That you're the carrot he's dangling in front of black women's head is that another group of women is going to take care and invest in black men. Black men, in his mind, are children to be raised by a group of women. That is wild. If you are a woman and you're thinking, let me go get my black man so I can take care of him before some other women do it, that what? Why would you? Why is this? Why is this a strategy for you to engage? Why? Why? He's saying black men need help and some women need to take care of him. Ew. No black man should listen to this and think, yes, Dr. Umar, you're eating. No. You have been infantilized by a man saying that you are a child who needs to be taken care of by a group of women. If black women don't take care of black men, some other group of women is going to come take you and take care of you because you're not a man who take care of these women. That's wild. That is a weird proposition to make. Why would you do that? And stop talking about your traditional men. Stop talking about you want traditional women. And these same women will hear this conversation talking about, I need a man to come lead me. These men don't want to lead based on what Dr. Umar is saying. These men want to be taken care of. Is that a leader to you? Does that sound like the mindset of a leader? Does it sound like the mindset of a leader in your mind? Don't even define leadership at all. Don't define leadership at all. Is this leadership in any meaningful way? Do you hear the makings of a leader? Do you hear the makings of a leader? I need a woman to come take care of me before I can do something. And then they turn around and call you masculine after you take care of them. Why? You say they say you emasculate them. Why? After asking you to come take care of them. Only black men speak like him. I'm a Muslim woman in the Middle East, and you will never hear men speak like that. We shake our head at black American men. They be having fetish and we be cover. Yeah, that's like the fact that he's so bold. Like this man travel all around the world to Australia to go sit up in front of an Australian black woman, told this black woman, hey, y'all need to come take care of black men. Yeah, if Umar believed that white women were willing to build black men up, they would be talking to Becky and not black. Yes, if Umar for a second thought that, he would be talking to a white woman. That is just disgusting. Tory Hard and black women like her show otherwise. He's always talking out of both sides of his mouth. Yeah, that's what he's never consistent. Dr. Umar will change his argument to whatever narrative he's attempting to push at the time, and it's really annoying. Ask J Electronica if rich white women snatch up poor black man.
And I think that I'm basing it on case studies. I know black women. I'm friends with black women. You know, when I see the dating issues that happen, sorry, the mic?
No, we good. Go ahead. We good.
It's never that. It's never that they don't want to invest. It's actually the opposite. Black women are willing to be in relationships with men that are still leveling up, that are still working their way up. And then
yet you were reluctant. So why are they different from you?
And that because they keep getting walked all over, kicked out, treated poorly, and I refuse to do that. That's why. Sorry, she gonna answer.
Well, maybe because I've been through that, and now I'm not trying to do that right now. Do you know what I mean? I've been through a relationship where I have supported someone, and it went really badly for me. You know what I mean? So for me now, I don't need to coddle a man and be there. And I've worked my way up the same way.
Is not coddling.
I don't think you need to invest.
It is coddling. It is what? How are you begging? How are you sitting there on your knees, hands out, head down, begging for something, then telling them it's not what they say it is? It isn't. What do you mean it's not coddling? It is coddling. It is coddling. You are begging. You're a beggar. What do you mean? I see the vision. 700 times 6 poly black women equals king, period. You gonna sit there begging, talking about it's panhandling.
I don't think it's necessary in that way. Why is it only financial investment?
How is it Eurocentric so black women have Eurocentric expectations for black men, but white women don't? The actual Europeans don't have it. Got it. So we just switched expectation. Got it. I'm guessing white women only have this Eurocentric expectation for white men, but when it comes to black men, they're like, okay, well, they really don't got it like that. And okay, period. So white women understand black men more than black women understand black men. Got it. Period. Because that makes sense to you, Dr. Umar. That makes sense to you.
Investment. Why is it only financial investment?
Well, no, that's what he's asking for, because at the end of the day, you just said yourself, financial equity is a major concern for women. So it has to be financial equity or investment, because that's what a lot of women are looking for from their men. Y'all want economic parity, and I don't have a problem with y'all wanting economic parity. I'm simply saying, with the obstacles facing black men in Australia, the US, or any other white society, it comes with a lot of obstacles for us to get there, and it's unrealistic to expect me to be where you are when you are not considered the threat that I am.
Okay, great. Then go find someone else. Like, I don't think you should argue. I feel like if Dr. Umar is right and there's so much happening, you either take a black man, invest in him, or find a black man who believes that he can succeed and be at your level economically, academically, socially. Find that one, or just date out. Like, what do you mean? Why would you go take up a bump? That's out of line. I'll stop. That's out of line. Let me not address no.
Sorry, I need to process this because I
Take
think
a deep breath.
Yeah.
King Kong is here.
Does he not know how threatening he comes off? Does he not? Because like, even he's sitting. For me, I don't mind. I'm used to this. But like, does he not see how frazzled she is by all that anxious energy that he puts off? Like you're trying to dominate her. You're trying to beat her into submission to accept that she needs to change her paradigm about her expectation of men. She needs to lower her standard, and you're beating her over the head with this, and you don't understand how she could be frazzled interacting with you. Is this the masculinity that you are talking about that is divorced from provision? Is this the expression of masculinity?
I don't know. I disagree. I just think that Black women are willing to hold it down for the man. I feel like we're always there supporting them, and I think that if anything, Black women get the short end of the stick. We don't.
A lot of times y'all do.
We do. So
and
how
I'll
are
give
you?
you 3 short sticks that y'all tend to get.
Okay, so why are you telling them to do it? Why are you telling? Oh my God! Let's hear the 3 short sticks. Let's hear the Black women get the short end of the stick when they keep trying to hold it down for Black men, but you keep telling them to do it. Why? Why would they ever do that?
Number 1, Black men need to stop telling y'all they're monogamous if they're polygynous. Too many.
Wait, sorry. Y'all, oh my God, I am not ready for this. I am not. I probably should have watched this in the Discord. How is a conversation about a broke man who can't provide for himself and needs support financially from a woman turn into a conversation about If you're not monogamous, what are you going to be doing with yeah, sorry. This is insanity. This is absolute insanity. So not only should you invest in him, this can't be happening in the same conversation. Sorry, oh my God. I'm literally going through, when you're like, yes, you did, Gia. Someone said the comment about like one man, $700, 6 wife, king. I remember that comment actually. I do remember that comment. I didn't realize you were talking. You want a woman to provide for you, invest in you, and you want to be doing that to multiple women. You can't provide for a home. Not an MLM. Not an MLM full of Jesus. This is a pimp. This is very pimp-esque. Like you're sending these women out to go work and bring you money. This is exploitation. This is definitely exploitation. This is definitely giving exploitation. You want to use and exploit Black women. You want to use and exploit their labor. You want to use their money. Umar, aka No Guarantees on his school coming, is working on his rollout for what he pops out with this white woman. Just go quietly like the school, like that school funding. Period. I think this is insanity. In a conversation that you're beating women down, telling them they need to provide for a man, you are also telling them they need to accept that the man is going to have multiple women. All right.
Black women are being manipulated into poor relationships that they didn't sign up with because of disingenuous men. Okay, I'm going to have 2 wives. Dr. Umar going to have 2 queens. If you don't like it, don't flirt with me. Leave it there. But I'm going to have 2. I'm going to be honest, right? Men have to stop manipulating women who looking for monogamy into polygamy. It's not right. You got a wife over here. You got a baby mama over here.
No, he got 2 kids. You know what? Whatever he wants. At least he's not lying about it. So if women want to sign up for the foolishness, I guess. Yeah. This is just pure exploitation.
Yeah, you should have been honest up front. That's number 1. Number 2, black men have to stop holding women on an emotional leash, giving her the belief that you may one day commit, knowing damn well you don't want her. Let her go, but you won't let her go because your ego can't stand to see something you throw away get picked out the trash by another man and turned into a jewel.
Throw in the trash.
We are wasting too much of y'all time by dragging y'all along emotionally, and that's not good because black women have a biological clock. Y'all have a tick-tock on how long y'all can have babies, and because of that, we shouldn't be wasting time with y'all. If we're not serious, we should let y'all go.
And let me add to that.
We got to stop putting our hands on our women. Too much domestic abuse, too much domestic violence.
You acknowledge domestic violence. You acknowledge that they're lying and they're cheating, but you want black women to still give them money and take care of them. You, Dr. Umar, fully understand the world, the context for black women. I hate the conversations online. I do. I truly hate. All of these men are lying. They all know what black women, they know what is happening. They know the reality for black women, and they lie, they connive, they bend. They don't want to engage meaningfully in the fact that black women are being harmed. And Dr. Umar has an added level where he thinks that you as a black woman being abused and discarded. He calls some women people who've thrown out in trash and be turned into jewels. You fully are aware of that. Your added element is that black women have a responsibility to a community that is continuously attacking them, abusing them, and discarding them. You acknowledge the reality of black women, that they're being abused and discarded, but you want them to also continue to invest in the community that is abusing and discarding them. Let's start with the men first before we get to the women. If your reality of blackness and black women's experience is correct, you have no right, none whatsoever, to talk to black women. You have to first talk to black men. Because it is wild to recognize that black women are being abused and tell them that they need to continue to invest in their abuser. That is wild. That is purely narcissistic. That is wild. That is a disgusting, annoying, diabolical take. That's just wild.
Too many black children are watching their mothers get abused by their fathers, and it's creating intergenerational trauma. So yes, there's a lot we need to do better for y'all. And I'm here to apologize to all my sisters in Australia for any black man that has done you wrong, because we need to level up in ways other than money.
You apologizing on their behalf does nothing when you're telling black women collectively that they need to be investing in the men that are abusing them. Your apology means nothing. Don't you have 2 kids that you left without like an intact home? Shouldn't you be focused on that? Absolutely disgusting, diabolical human being talking about he looking for 2 wives when he have 2 baby mama out there.
Money that money can't fix for us. So I'm with you, Queen. We need to become better men, but we need y'all to be a little bit more sensitive to the economic challenges that black men face. Me, I don't have that issue. I got 6 degrees. I got my doctorate. I'm the most popular pan-Africanist in the world. I'm good. But a lot of my brothers ain't where I'm at. You understand? And I need my women to understand that not every black man is going to be where Dr. Umar is. And it ain't because he was lazy. And it's not because he was intelligent. I had my father in my home. You understand? And because of that, the white power structure dealt with me differently because my father was there.
Okay, then tell these dads to stay in their homes. And if they can't stay in the homes, stay in their children's lives. Do that. talk to men for, oh my God, can you guys like the stream? I just realized there's no likes on my stream. That's wild. I mean, I don't like begging and I apologize, but it actually really do help the channel a lot. So please like, and for like when I come on, can you like the video? I don't like asking, and I know it's like a lot. No, it's not a lot, but like I don't know. I feel like I'm here to give and I'm asking for something in return. So I do apologize. But could you be like, it would be nice if you like the stream. Thank you. I actually am. I'm sorry.
I saw how I was given programs other black boys were not given because their father were not there. Children I went to elementary and middle school with, they in prison, they in the cemetery, not because they was less intelligent than me, but because my father was there, they dealt with me differently. So I wasn't better than them. I was given opportunities they were not given.
Yeah, let's talk about how we can create you, because I know that we're talking about the divide. We're talking about black women, black men, why they don't get along, why they're not coming together. How
all right. Y'all need to stop dragging me now. I feel like not you begging for y'all terrible.
can we start to create an understanding between the two of us?
Number one.
Yeah.
Too often when we get into relationships, we're looking for an emotional slave and a psychological cheerleader. We're not looking for a partner. Too often I see women who are looking for men who will just obey and do as I say. I see men who are looking for women who will just obey and do as I say. Are you really looking for a partnership, or are you looking for a cheerleader or a slave? Too many relationships are not partnerships. They are dictatorships of the more powerful partner over the less powerful partner. That's one. Number two, we need to stop getting into relationships when we have unmet psychological needs from our childhood that we have not addressed. Too many women are dealing with the abandonment of their fathers. You cannot put it on a man to heal the emotional wounds that your father caused. Too many men are looking for women to heal the emotional needs caused by their mother's abandonment. Deal with the trust issues from your parents. Deal with the...
I don't feel like women are, I feel like both genders are looking to address the abandonment of their fathers, actually. I think there might be an emotional abandonment for the boys with the mother, but there's a actual abandonment physically. He ain't right. Dr. The false equivalency that people draw, this is something that I really dislike too. There is an unwillingness, and I think this is why I'm on an island of my own. I think Sin also does this, so she's there too, but I hate when someone is coming online and they, instead of just saying what they mean with their chest, what the research says, they decide to like create and equate, like people like, I am so neutral and objective, so I'm going to take the very little that women do over here wrong and make it equal to all the harm. Like the point at which you are saying women are wanting money, and you're comparing that to men unaliving women and abusing men, women, and children. When you start creating a kind of equivalency, like, oh, it's not just men, it's both, it's a gender war, I feel like you've lost the plot, right? You have lost a part of honesty and academic integrity in terms of the rigor with which you're analyzing an issue, like, and you shouldn't be trusted. Because you should be able to address one group without creating the equivalent on the other end in another group. It's the same thing when Donald Trump is saying stand down and stand by, and people are like, oh, it's both sides. And when the Tiki Torch marches were happening and Donald Trump is saying it's on both sides, it's not the same. And you pretending like it is flattens the issues, and we don't get to address them equally because you want to look, or you want to be seen as so balanced and even that you don't actually address the problem. When one group of people is unaliving the other group of people, it's very difficult for me to accept that there are equal issues on both ends that needs to be addressed. That is wild. Drag who needs to be dragged. Ain't nobody got time for you to be sitting up here talking about creating this weird plateau for no reason. No.
abandonment issues from your parents. Deal with the lack of ability issues from your parents. It is not your partner's job to heal you psychologically. And so what we often end up doing is getting into relationships with emotionally unavailable people. And the reason they're emotionally unavailable is they're too consumed with their own issues that they should have.
Coco, question. Do you want to come up and explain this? I can drop the link. I'm not gonna say men aren't needed. Men are needed. Do you want to? I haven't dropped the link in a while, and so I'm not sure what you're talking about. But if you drop a one, Coco, just Coco, if you want to come up and explain why you made this comment, drop a one. Drop a one if you want to, because I don't understand this comment. Because I'm a bit confused. Or maybe you weren't talking to me. Oh, gotcha. All right, cool. All right. I was like, when did I say this? Sorry.
Dealt with before I came into your life. You see that? Yeah. We got to do a better job of screening people, because in Australia, you got emotional vampires, unhealthy women who look healthy, unhealthy men.
I agree with that.
You understand?
I agree with that.
Healthy.
And jump into relationships too quickly. Like we'll leave one and then we'll go into another before we heal. I do agree with that. And I do think that there's a lack of understanding from both sides. And all we're doing is everybody's just very loud. But I think that if there was some sort of there are so many points I wanted to go into with what you were saying, but I just feel like we can meet at a middle ground.
I agree.
It's just, there's just a lot of noise.
And I don't think we study each other's values.
I don't think so.
Enough.
Yeah.
Let me give you an example. We meet hypothetically, right? We meet. You're a psychologist. I'm a psychologist. You're a pan-Africanist. I'm a pan-Africanist. You're a Leo. I'm a Leo. But guess what? You believe in saving money. I believe in spending it. Guess what? I want to have a big family. You don't plan on having no kids. Guess what? I have a close relationship with my mother. I spend every Sunday with her. You can't stand your mother. I want to save for retirement. You believe in spending all your money. You see that on the surface, we got everything in common. But when you go beneath and look at the values, it's completely different. We have to start studying our potential mates' values. And the other thing that we also need to do is we need to slow down on the sex. Women in particular. One of the things I don't like about African women today is they're trying to operate like males. You don't care. You just had sex with me.
Why are you talking about black women? Didn't a white woman just come out talking about she gonna sleep with like 100 men in one day, and then she did it, and then she said she gonna sleep with 1,000 men? To sit up there talking about this is so, I find this so annoying and disingenuous, and like black women don't do more than other women, like at all. Like, what are you talking about? Steele, you want to come up and explain what he's right about? Do you want to come up and explain what he's right about?
I don't care. I'm gonna have sex with you, but there's a big difference there. Women are internal. Whoever y'all lay with, y'all pick up our spiritual DNA. I don't care if he's wearing a condom or not. A piece of me is in you forever. There's been research that shows sex changes your DNA. When I'm in you, I'm literally in you for the rest of your life. And women have to stop consuming all these toxic male energies because it affects the way y'all think. Your vagina is an extension of your unconscious.
Nope, done that. I am not doing that. Absolutely not doing that. I do not want to hear his dusty metaphysical foolishness. I'm not doing that. No. I think Dr. Umar needs to shut up, build a school, and I don't know why people keep engaging with Dr. Umar in conversation without bringing up the school. If the first question isn't, when is the school coming? And the answer to that is not a definitive date, the conversation should end. It should end. It should not be going on. There's no reason you should be continuously talking to a Dr. Umar if he's not talking about the school. This phantom school needs to be built, him talking about 2 wives. How are you sitting up there talking about how Black men just don't have no money. They're down and out. The white man foot is on our neck. They can't make it to the top. They need help. You need to pay them $700 a month to be with you. You have to understand that a leader does not have to provide, even though masculinity requires that you provide. You have to divorce provision for masculinity. Also, this weak, downtrodden man who cannot protect himself or his family and cannot provide for himself or his family, you need to accept that he's going to have multiple women, have multiple other families outside of you, and you need to be okay with that, because the white supremacist system is why he's down, not the fact that he's not going to school, not the fact that he's having multiple children in multiple homes, providing for none of them. That's not the issue. The issue is that you don't want to provide for a man that is going to cheat on you. Absolutely not. Disgusting. I'm glad he spoke. I think the reason why marriages are down, having children is down, women are waiting to get into relationship, men are lonely and can't find anyone to be with, I think part of that has to do with the fact that women are waking up. Slowly, unfortunately, but they're waking up. Now, this lady annoys me. Let me just be very clear. I thought I would have liked this woman. She annoys me. I have no clue what is going to be said here. Don't know, didn't watch it. I told my Discord we're going to watch it for the first time here. But I already know this is some foolishness. The strength in submission. We just talked about how these men have nothing to offer, talking about y'all want to submit.
And professional lives of some of the biggest names in the entertainment industry, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant's brand is buzzing. I'm so excited to talk to her about her love life, the formula for communication without conflict, and how we can all attain mental and emotional wellness. Dr. Bryant, thank you so much for coming today. This has been long awaited. Our fans were blowing you up. They were blowing me up about getting you on the show. So I'm so excited we got to make this happen.
Yeah, thank you for having me. And then when I seen you coming off the elevator, I was like, oh my God, come here, give me a hug.
Right.
We were both like as if we had just like been friends for years. I was like, oh my God, hi. I was like, they want us to do this thing. And then you were just so amazing with making it happen and so quick and working with my time and your time. So thank you. Thank you. I'm honored to be on your show.
Thank you. You are such a busy woman. Every time I turn on my phone, I feel like there's a clip of you. You have been everywhere.
One day they love me and the next day they hate me. But the cool thing is that every day I love myself.
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. So we're going to get to the deep stuff. We see you on the phone, on the interviews, having deep conversation, always therapizing and helping people. But I want to know, what does Dr. Bryant do? You pour into everyone. How do you pour back into yourself?
I love that. Well, one, having an amazing ecosystem. I have best friends, Lola, Gina, Kia, that just surround me with love. When I say they support me, sis, these women root for me. These are 25 plus year friendships.
Oh,
I could be all of myself, the loving, nurturing, catering, submissive me, the fussy, bratty. I'm just hungry. It's that time of the month. You know, I want a burger.
Is he actually a practicing psychologist? These ideas have to be at the They have to be. They have to be. I know psychologists can come up with a lot of their own research and methodology for it has to be predicated on something, but I don't actually know the code for psychologists, but I do know that I shop around when I'm looking for a therapist in particular. I do shop around for not just like personality match, but like I try to understand their methodology and like sort of how they approach helping people. And the reason I do that is I don't actually like a soft questioning therapist. I like a therapist that acts as more of a coach. Like I prefer you like being more blunt. Like I don't like sitting there talking and you not responding and you accepting everything I say as it's like meaningful and thoughtful. No, I need you to challenge me. And if you don't, I can't. Sorry, but I mean.
from McDonald's me. They just get me, and it's reciprocal. My best friend travels with me everywhere. She's my assistant as well, Lola. Yeah, she's very protective over me, and so that gives me cushion. My mom, who is my only living parent now, she cooks, cleans, she lives with me, and she treats me like I'm 4 years old. And as crazy as that sounds, I feel like it's important for all of us to be somebody's baby, no matter how old we are, and still being her baby. It's like it helps me be vertical, and it gives me a lot to stand on. And so no matter where I'm at in the world, no matter what the blogs or the people are saying in that moment, in that space,
Can someone tell me where she's talking about submission, please? I don't want to listen to this woman talk about things. I do not want to hear. TK says 367 likes. Thank you for helping Themis and Thoth's channel. The support goes a long way. I appreciate that. Okay, we should get it to 500 though. With 700 people here, we should get it to 500. I'm kidding. I'm not greedy. Y'all said I need to lower my standards. So I will. For you all, I will lower my standards. I think that's standarding.
I have these people that I stand on. And so it feels really good. And in addition, I meditate every day for 20 minutes. I've been doing that for 10 years. I'm big on Abraham Hicks, Bishop Jakes. I'm always listening to my audiobooks. I'm not a TV person, although I don't watch TV, but I did love your as a Tima show. I can't lie. I used to go in there like, I'm going to binge watch this, but I don't watch TV.
Right.
Has anyone pulled up records on if he ever started a school? There would be permits, license, charter approvals, contracts, buildings, or land purchases before the work even start, public documents. I have not. I was going to, because I was looking into his degree, but then I stopped because I thought that was very intrusive, so I didn't. And then he started posting himself in these gymnasiums and like these weird buildings and saying this was a school, and he was like upset about some HVAC system. So I'm trying to figure out, but I don't know. But I probably should look into this. I will.
But so I do all those things, and that helps keep the outside chatter completely outside. A ship sails as long as the outside water doesn't get inside. And the material that the ship is built with, I always say, is your friends, your family, the people who support you, who love you. And so if you got folks who are solid and who are built, that ship is going to sail no matter what. And their job is to make sure that the outside chatter stays out. And then my job is to do that as well with them. And we do a damn good job over here. We do. I mean, I have a team, I'm telling you, because we have a real marriage where marriage is not about kumbaya, it's about commitment. It's about, I said I was going to lock in with you, Crystal, and be okay.
I'm so annoyed. Can someone... I'm just going to skip around.
Yeah, no, it's funny. I just took my parents to Europe for the first time. They've never been. And I just love traveling overseas. And at first my dad was like, I don't know.
And I do have guys that I go on dates with and know I'm not leaving my husband.
All right, let me just say the Cheyenne Bryant part of this, I don't care. If she want to submit, she can submit. Don't care nothing about it. Can't find it. Don't want to find it. I'm very annoyed. Let me look around. Someone said I do need to watch it because it's so important. So let me try.
Having to find something I can criticize for, or can I just accept him for being a man and say, that's my husband. That's just the stuff, girl.
Right.
And I take him in doses sometimes. Right? How do we do that? And then the other thing is the Bible says marriage is for disciplined people.
You were just speaking on that on the record. Yes.
And that's because I have to be disciplined enough to know also how to self-soothe when you're only at 60% of satisfying me. What do I do with that 40%? Do I self-soothe? Do I cheat? Do I ridicule you? Do I emasculate you? Does he disempower you? Does he have a side chick for the 40% you can't cover that he knew you couldn't cover when he first met you? You knew this when you got with this woman.
Right.
You knew this. Or when you become the mother of his children, how does he self-soothe while you're transitioning from mommyhood to duality of wife and mommy?
Yeah, because I hear it on both sides. Yes. Yeah.
You know, and I had my first fiance's mom. She was so amazing at this. When we first got engaged, she took me on this ride, girl, and she was like, "Okay, honey, I got to talk to you." And I'm like, "Okay." And she's like, "You know, I buy you lingerie for birthdays and Christmas. That's for my son," which I loved. I was like, "Okay." And she was like, "You know, and when y'all."
Did this woman just say her first fiance's mother bought her lingerie for her to wear for her son? Why are you telling us this? This is disgusting to me. And she trying to make it sound like it's like, oh my God, this is so lovely. No, that is weird. Why does your fiance's mother know what her son likes in terms of lingerie for? Trash. Trash.
y'all have your first kids, I just want you to know. Just want you to know. Now that hole down there may not work, but as a wife, you have other holes and you have a mouth.
His mom said it to you?
Let me tell you how genius though I thought that was. Because she was looking out for her son. She was saying, she had been married about 40 years to his father at that time. As a married woman, she's saying, let me just tell you what has worked for us and possibly maybe the mistake she might have made.
That's good, yeah.
And I just thought, wow, if more moms would have that real authentic conversation versus just, honey, just get married and ride off on a horse in the midnight hours. That doesn't work. It's not that, no.
Right.
What do we do when I have this baby and he has needs and I can't deliver? What are the alternatives? How do we?
You carried a child for him and you for 9 months. You said things might be different, things might not work. What do you mean you now need to figure out how to please? Y'all done bad. Y'all done. After having his child, y'all worried about how to please. Y'all just you had a child and y'all worried about please. Are y'all okay? Y'all worried about pleasing him when y'all just had his child.
We communicate that. How do
you want to know? I know this is specifically a Christian thing. I know for a fact this is a Christian thing because ultimately what they're doing is if you can't do it, stop putting other people's name in my chat. What are you doing? Stop doing that. Nobody asked you. I don't want y'all to be fighting about other content creator in my chat. Do not do that. Do not disrespect other content creator. Do not even name other content creators in the chat. Why would you do that? Now, look, just don't do that. Please don't do that.
Do I make sure that baby and father or husband both feel seen and loved? How do I communicate to him that my hormones are crazy and I need more reassurance?
Yes.
And I'm not insecure, and if I am, so what?
Yeah.
Support me in this.
Help me in this, yes.
I don't care what title you put to it. Then it's insecure, then you really need to help me become more secure. I just birthed your baby.
Yeah.
What do we do in this space?
All over the place, yeah.
What does that look like, right?
Friends, male and female, and I've been on the receiving end of hearing both the woman, the wife and the husband vent about those things. And I'm like, we need to understand her body's going through all these different changes. And then the guy's like the same thing, well, I mean, let me get some head or something. I'm like,
but can I ask you this? I mean, do you think that's too much for a man to ask for? You had a baby. I'm not saying the day you come out the hospital, but damn, I mean, a couple of weeks into it, do you think it's too much for him to not demand it, but to say, baby,
I got some needs.
I'm struggling.
Because it's been a long time.
I mean, it's been 2 weeks and we used to have a really active sex life. I mean, can I get some head?
Yeah.
In between, is that too much?
No,
or is that just adulting? And him being vulnerable?
For the mothers in the no, I'm not even going to ask you. I ain't even going to ask you. They both said they weren't mothers. But I think I know Dr. Bryant is not a mother. When you
enough to say,
I got needs.
Yeah. And I'm not even thinking about stepping out on you. Hand job, mouth job, something. I mean, now I don't have any kids, so I say this now without mothers. Right. But my thing is absolutely, hold on, give him 10 more minutes to feed. Hold on.
Yeah. Right.
Let's go. Crystal, well, can you hurry up? I'm tired. Wait, and I'm dripping. Let me wipe. I'm dripping wet in your corner.
Listen, that is dedication.
Can you wipe while I suck white, baby?
I don't know, but it feels like they don't know what having a child can do to someone's body and mental state. And this idea that you should be super mommy and super wife and super woman, this seems so exhausting. Because if you're with a man and you're breastfeeding and you just had the child, you would expect that the man understands that for a while things might not be the same. Like some people say having a child is beautiful. I don't know. I won't invalidate your experience, but I do know that it's a lot of trauma to go through. I know you put your body through a lot of trauma. And so to expect someone who just had carried a child for 9 months and then having that move, some women even forget they actually, let me not speak on women's behalf. If you like it, I love it.
Wife. But that's teamwork.
That is teamwork.
What we're talking about here is teamwork. Because while he's on the road, I got needs.
Yeah, that's real.
While you're doing things, I need to be seen.
So
text
true.
me when you land. Ask me where I am. Bug me throughout the day.
I'm the same with
I want to be.
You asking him to show up for you and make you feel seen and heard and cared for is not the same as him expecting you to put your body through such a traumatic event and be able to bounce back immediately in order to please. You're not his tool. I mean, maybe you are. Maybe you are. Look, the Bible says you're his helpmate, and this feels very specifically religious. It started off with T.D. Jakes. Apparently, it is what it is. Go ahead, girl.
Love me like this. Don't love me like this. Because if you love me like this, we got a problem. Love me like literally.
Now you're in my business.
Okay. Both ways, y'all. Yes. In and out the bedroom. Love me like this.
Yes, that is hilarious. Oh my gosh, I love this. This is what I wanted to get into. So, say you're on a first date. What are some first date questions? Because me and Ashana and some of my girls, we've been talking about questions, the wildest questions that we've been asked and some turnoffs. What are some questions that you feel are important to ask on a first date when you're like, okay, this is going in a good direction?
This is such an unpopular opinion, but when I say it, all the women tend to go, yes, yes.
I think y'all do need to normalize making people expect that childbirth is a very hard and dangerous thing. Therefore, you need a ton of support, both on an individual romantic level and at a system level. If you keep pretending like having a child is not this traumatic event that requires more, then people are going to treat it as such. The expectation that women just bounce back immediately is absolutely wild. And don't be afraid that the system was structured to exclude women. That is true, but you don't win in the system by pretending like you are not being harmed, like you are not hurt, like you don't need rest, and like you don't need care. You need all of those things, and the system needs to bend in the way of facilitating your experience as a woman with a child. I'm not even saying pretending, because that's not even right, because some people can just bounce back, but you don't create the system for the outliers. You don't create the system making sure that the people who are stronger get away with everything. You take care of the people who are most vulnerable. Like
Yes, I feel the same way, but he said I was insecure. I always ask, how do you feel about your woman having your password to your phone or to your laptop and having full access? That's the first thing I want to know. Because again, being loved like this means we're orbiting, means I have access. And I'm not allowing you to access my body if I can't access your shit. I'm not doing it. I have not and I won't. And so that's the first question. And
what are the answers?
Oh, I've had some men be like password to my phone. Like, I just feel like, if you're going to trust me, then you trust me and you don't need to have access. In my personal experience, I go red flag womanizer. Red flag womanizer. Womanizer just means you got something going on. You're manipulative. You're sneaky. You got something that you're not transparent about. I am not into honesty. I'm into transparency. I don't want to have to ask you 15 questions to get you to be honest with me. I like transparency. Baby, I was on my way home and I got an email from my ex-girlfriend and I forwarded to you. This is what she said. Okay, daddy, you hungry? I got dinner cooked. That's me. I don't want to have to ask you anything because I'm not the woman that's and because I'm not going to sneak and go through your phone and I don't want it. I'm not going to try to learn your password. I need to make sure that I have full access because in my last relationship, I had full access and I would sit with him in bed and be like, hey, let me see your phone real quick.
And they know and
he would just go, now sometimes, because I think he knew okay, I think in his mind, knowing my personality, he was like, either she's doing it to flex her control. I'm just being transparent and being very accountable. Or babe, how many times do you need to look at my phone before you reassure? I'm just speaking real from what I felt a man would think, right? But he would always go right to the game. And sometimes I would joke and I'd be like, nervous? You nervous? And this is even 2 years in and they rock on my finger. We engaged. The wedding is in 2 months. And he'd be like, you look at it anyways. I know you do. But he also had access to mine. So if the phone rang, well, if I'm in the shower, he'd go,
her insecurity, her vulnerability, everything about her and her personality is on full display. I don't know necessarily that that's a good thing, but I mean, if that's what she needs to be validated and you're willing to do that, then do that. I mean, the easiest type of people to trick is the one who said, "Just give me transparency." Offset gave Offset gave Offset gave Cardi B access to his phone, one of his phone, and access to a couple of things while cheating on another. All right, girl. Period.
Your mama calling.
Okay.
So you're looking to see who calls, or
Yeah.
sometimes I say, baby, text her back and tell her this, this, and that. I did that for one of two things. One, I wanted him to text mama back,
Yeah.
right? But two, I wanted him to know I'm reassuring you
Yes.
too. And you can text back, you can respond. You have that access, you have that
Yeah.
authority. You're my man, you're mine. We're getting married,
I love that.
and I'm transparent. And if there's something you see in there, and we need to talk about, I need to shift, I'm willing to shift it. No big deal. But luckily, knock on wood, with both of my engagements, with full access, I've never ran into anything. I've never seen it. I mean, I've had access to Facebook pages, social media, but for me, that is my reassurance, and I like that type of access. And so again, on the first date, if a man is like, "No, that ain't me," then I don't just walk off the dinner. I mean, I'm mature, but I do understand that that's not my type of guy. And I've had men follow up like date number 2, and I say, "Look, I don't want to waste your time. I am a woman who's an access woman, and I just would never even be intimate with you if I can't access what's going on, because if there is a disease, if there is something coming from someone, it's in that phone. It's in that phone, and I'm not playing with my body. I'm not playing with my heart."
So when you say you just need transparency and you don't actually look, if you say it's in the phone, for you to know if it's in the phone, you are going to have to look through the phone. So you are going through, you don't have boundaries. You don't need to know what I'm saying to my brother. You don't need to know what I'm saying to you know. Now, if you are intentionally hiding your phone from me, we have a problem. But like, what do you mean on the first date you're gonna ask me about? You're gonna do what now? When we're dating, you expect what? Absolutely not. You tried it. I mean, she's a preference, so there's a tax. Maybe in her life it works for her, but absolutely not. What do you mean? She said on the first date she tells them and asks about it. No. You tried it. No, absolutely not. If someone on the first date gives you access to their phone, they're cheating. That's my boundary. I don't believe anyone, if on the first date they give you full access in terms of their password, absolutely not. I don't trust you. And also, don't think you have boundaries. And if you have no boundaries, you're going to get walked over. It's just the human nature. What do you mean? Absolutely not. Don't take dating advice. Please do not take dating advice from me at all, ever. Let me just be very clear. Do not ever in your life take dating advice from me. Just know that.
Yeah.
And so I'm good.
I love that.
Yeah.
With your engagements, and you are still a woman who wants to be loved, who
Yeah.
aspires to be in a relationship. What kept you still wanting that? 'Cause I know some people, when they've been engaged and maybe it didn't work out, that happened twice for you. What kept you saying, "No, I still want love"?
You know what's crazy, Chris? So, and again, I say this with all the compassion for the women who have been left.
Yeah.
I think if I was the one being left, I probably would be on the other side of the emotion. I probably would maybe feel a little disempowered, or kind of like, what am I not doing right?
How are you a therapist and not realizing what you're saying? Like, I don't understand, because you're psycho. Are you that fragile? If you are the one being left, you feel like you would not want to date anymore, but because you are the one who left people. All right. I mean, it makes sense. It's just like it's like very, like, it feels like your self-esteem is tied to power and you dominating and having dominance. And that's weird. I just don't feel like she understands what this says about her. Like, it just feels like she's she's elevating herself in a way that doesn't make sense to do, because people are already elevating you and listening to you. So you further, like, why would you try to further elevate yourself above other women? And like, I can understand why those women who've been left, I can get why they don't want to do it again. And maybe I would be like them girls if I experienced that. But for me, I left everyone. I dumped them. So Like, ugh. You could just peel that all the way back and get to the root of why it is that you can continue. And if you can continue because of narcissism, or you can continue dating because you don't feel like you've ever been left, that is a deep psychological wound that you need to fix. This is sad. This is sad. It's not. I don't know if this is a fact, but this does not feel like someone who's empowered and agentic. Like, they don't feel like they have agency. It does not. That's not what I get. This reeks of high-level insecurity. this this reeks of male worship and high insecurity. That's what I get.
Or why me? But being that I was the one that was pursued, obviously, right? And I pursued back once I wanted them and asked, right? And chose back. And then I did the leaving and I called off both engagements or both weddings. As crazy as it sounds, it gives me leverage. It puts me in a position of power, not a power where I'm taken advantage of, a power of I did the leaving. So I'm still the woman who was desired, pursued. They still wanted the relationship when I left. And I didn't leave because they weren't great men. I left because they weren't my men forever. And I wasn't going to continue to be in a relationship, even.
It is empowering to you because you left. So you are validating a reality, because you can still maintain your power when someone leaves you. They just did not align with who you are. They may not want to be with you, but it doesn't mean you're a bad person or you should be disempowered by that. Just find someone who is able to appreciate that which you bring to the table. The fact that it's almost like she's accepting that, yeah, well, girl, if you were left, sucks to suck. I understand why you don't want to engage this way, because that's the truth for you, right? Like, I don't care nothing about that. But for me, I left them. Do you not understand how you have just invalidated a lot of people's experiences, and you have accepted the narrative that this is okay for people who have been left to feel like they can't go on? Just speak more generally to this idea of being left versus not being left, and do your psychology. Like, if you're a psychologist or a therapist and you're doing this so publicly and not understanding how this could affect people who have been left, that's wild. That's wild. Yeah, that's what I mean. Period. Good for her, but that's weird.
With my last fiance, where I was fully taken care of. Wow. I didn't pay a bill by a grape. I made sure he had food. I was cooking. I was definitely fully submissive to whatever he needed, which I loved, by the way. I love that role. Just so you men know, I love that submission role. You can take care of me any day. But I still wasn't going to stay and allow him to take full care of me, right? Knowing that I didn't want to be with this man. I wasn't staying to use him. Right. I wasn't staying to be taken care of. He didn't take care of me because I didn't have my own. I was a doctor already. I had my own money. I had my own reserves. And I also didn't need him to support me in the sense of, once I left, he was giving me money to leave. No, when we left, we left. And my last text message to him was, I left the house. Thank you for taking such great care of me. I'm so grateful for you. Continue blessings. And he texted me back and said, same to you. Thank you for everything. Continue blessings. Wow. It wasn't bitter. But I thanked him because what that man took care of us. I mean, like, literally was a retired basketball player and was doing okay, but went and got a second regular job, Crystal, to make sure he can fit me into his world. And to me, that is just admirable, and when you see a man put in that much effort, my opinion is, I don't care how alpha you are, you peak your submissive. And that was my first time where I literally, organically, my alpha was like doormat and my submissive was like fully blamed. And I fell in love with me probably more than he did, because I was like, oh, this soft, submissive woman she's everything. I love this. And anything he needed, he can come home at 12 and work out. And he's like, I'm hungry. I'm like, what do you want? No problem. My little gospel music on. And
I'm gonna go ahead and block you, 12. 12, I'm just gonna go ahead and block you. I'm just gonna go ahead and block you. Period. I mean,
I'm in that kitchen at 12 a.m. cooking, having a good time. So they do exist. But you just have to make sure that you're choosing what works for you.
At what point were you like, this amazing guy, he's doing all these amazing things, going the extra mile to get the extra job? What was it that you were like, this isn't my forever person? Because it sounds like a great guy.
This is where y'all gonna eat my ass up. And I'm okay with that, okay? I'm okay with that. I actually love myself. So I don't date men with kids.
Oh.
And he knew that
Mhm.
when we first started dating.
Yeah.
I obviously knew that he had two beautiful young adult daughters, but we
I don't date men with kids. Your fiance had kids. What? How you go? Maybe that's the new thing for her now. Maybe.
still both continued to pursue each other and ended up in a relationship, ended up loving each other and engaged. And we would sit in bed, Crystal. We'd have the most amazing day. Things would be good. And I would just lay in bed and I say, babe, at night, I'm like, baby. He's like, yep. I'm like, I'm having those feels again. And he's like, what? And I'm like, I love that we're a family, because we were like, the girls would come and we'd have dinner. I'd cook, and so, but I'm like, I love our family unit. It's not your girls at all. They did nothing derogatory to the relationship. I mean, he made it a breeze. There was no baby mama drama. I never even met their mamas. The oldest daughter would talk to me about her mom and some concerns they would have, and I would totally facilitate it, be open. I would work out with his girls, eat with, I mean, it was never them. And even after we broke up, me and his daughter, she still kept in contact. So, but I said it to say, I would say, it's not you, it's not them, it's me. My spirit isn't letting me go against my values of what I don't want. I come from a father who has 6 of us by 5 different women. And since I can remember speaking and thinking, I used to say, Daddy, I love all my siblings, but I don't like that you did this with 5 women. And I don't want that. And my fiance had 2 beautiful girls by 2 different women.
So you're saying that.
And my dad was like, baby,
remember what you said.
And I know you think he's different because it's 2. He's not.
Wow. Ooh,
he's not.
Daddy.
He's not. So I told you, we had this agreement. And I was like, but Daddy, he takes care of me and he loves me and we're good. And my dad was like, baby, I'm telling you, hold off on the wedding, hold off. And so we had these conversations. And when I learned that there was nothing he could do to shift how I felt in here, and it wasn't his responsibility to shift me, I had to be authentic and really show my love for him and say, I can't be married and have.
So you didn't know this before the engagement? I mean, you can call off an engagement, like that's fine, but you didn't know that before the engagement, like you could. That is wild. I don't like this. If that is your boundary, that is your boundary. If you test it out, you test it out. But like, just say yes to a ring and then be like, that thing that I knew, that I've always known? Yeah, no, it's bothering me. And I'm glad you called it off before you went down the aisle. Let me be very clear. And I think I appreciate that. Good for you, whatever. You can call it off whenever for any reason. But it is weird to know. It's like, what's this, the Love is Blind guy with the 2 dreads? Like, you can't be mad at someone for the thing you've known before you got into the relationship. Like, you knew this before you got in, period. But I mean, you can. I appreciate. I like that she did that, but it feels like she's always, Ramses, thank you. It feels like she's always doing this like power move, and she needs power, which is fine. Like, I'm here for it, but don't pretend like it isn't what it was. You ain't loved it.
Have kids, and it's continued to be this burden on us. And you try to facilitate it, and through a lot of those spaces, it would cause some conflict. And he wasn't always able to have the emotional intelligence needed to totally facilitate us through certain things. And so I started saying, well, what if I become, when I am pregnant, we're married and I'm pregnant, and I'm having these moments and he's not able to facilitate me. He's shutting down for 4 or 5 days and we're in the house together. And mind you, he was 14 years older than me. And so in my mind, I'm thinking, which most of us think, older man, the maturity is going to be there. He can facilitate this. That's not an age thing. That's just an experience and wisdom thing. And to his defense, I believe he tried his best to, but when it came to us having friction, the second part of it was he was still very into that unemotional intelligence where, girl, we go 5 days without talking in the same house.
Oh, no.
And I said, baby, I can't be married like this.
Don't worry,
so 2 things. It was the reality of you have these beautiful girls who have nothing to do with my decision. It's all my values and what I want. And the other thing is you're not able to problem solve and bring resolve quick enough in this house. And I want peace.
Now, do you think that if he didn't do the whole I can go 5 days without talking to you, do you think you could have maybe let having the kids slide?
Okay, so she left because he was emotionally unintelligent and couldn't facilitate when they're angry and not talk to her for days at a time. Fear, love it for her, period. All this, he got kids. Well, she thinks she Life Jennings talking about he got kids. She don't know if she's ready to give all the things that they need to give. Because if she becomes more for her, she got to do more for the kids. She's just trying to make sure this is more than a sexual thing. Y'all remember that song, She Got Kids? Y'all need to go listen to that Life Jennings song, because Life Jennings decided to write a song called She Got Kids. Ain't nobody asked Life Jennings. nobody at all ever. Life Jennings, she know how it is. Mm, 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 mm.
Because you love the girls, they love you clearly, still have a great relationship with them. Is that something that maybe if that was strong and the communication and maturity was there, that you could have kept that relationship going?
I think no. I think God would have found a gentle way, like He did in this relationship, to sever it because God knows my heart.
Yeah.
And like you said, I know the plans that I have for you, plans to prosper you and give you a good life. And I know that He knows a good life for me is me, my husband, and our babies.
Yeah.
And God built me. So He knows how He built my little territorial self. And He knows that I don't want to look across the room and see my husband as selfish as.
This is not Christian. This is law of attraction foolishness. This is not Christian. What do you mean God knew how He built your territorial self? Ain't God testing all these women through these Bible? Isn't God testing all these women like, I don't want this, I don't want that, and God testing them to make sure, like, God. No, you want what you want, and that's completely fine. Stop blaming that on God, girl. God know how she. I mean, to be fair, I actually like the fact that no, I don't. I can't. Because like I can't say I like the fact that she's weaponizing the Bible to her benefit when I would drag anyone else for doing it. But she weaponizing that Bible. She said, God, she said, I gotta leave you and them kids. Yeah, she said, I gotta leave you and them kids because God knows what He did for me, and what He has planned for me is not you and them kids. God said, I have my own children. Jesus might love the little children, but I am not Him, and them children aren't mine. Yo, she is diabolical. She said, when Jesus said yes, nobody can say no. And she said, absolutely, I'm not doing that. God already said yes. My man, Dr. Bryant said God told her that her man is childless and coming to her. And I love that for her. I love that.
As it may sound for others, for me, it's not selfish. It's me. It's I don't want to look across the room and see my husband engaging, interacting with someone else's child. That's not mine. The second thing is, I'm the type of woman that if I'm with a man with kids, I'm fully invested.
Yeah.
Those kids will be treated no different than my kids. I will love and invest in them like their minds. And just like when I called off the wedding, I left. He got to keep the family. I left as a single woman, having to go create my own family. So that's an investment a lot of women.
If I'm with a man with a children, them children become my own. They are my children. My fiance had children. I treated them like my own. They were my own. But when I left, I just left them kids. Period. And what of it? What of it? What of it? What of it? You know that dance that I forgot what's the artist's name? Oh my God. I think it's a Nigerian artist. What of it? Twerk, what of it? Anyways, it's fine. Yeah, I need to go look at this song. The lyrics literally got out of my head. I only know what of it and what of it. It's like you have a man, I have a woman, what of it? I don't remember. Oh my God, I'm annoyed because I really wanted to sing that song for y'all right now. I just fell off a treadmill laughing with you. Period. No, I need that song. I hate when I usually think in songs, and it's annoying when they don't come to me.
And men make where they're coming in and being stepmom or stepdaddy. And if that relationship ends, those kids are not yours. It's very rare that those kids roll with you. When mom or dad gets another relationship, guess what? It's the next stepmommy or daddy. So where did the return on your investment go?
Right. Yeah. So I want to ask you this because as we get older, the chances of having children and like it gets less and less and less. Have you ever had thoughts of like, dang, like, you know what I'm saying? I want this thing, but is this even possible the longer I wait for this man who doesn't have children? That was one of my ultimatatiums. I was like, I don't want anybody to get kids. Like I was in college saying that, and we might be kindred sisters over here. Well, let me find out. Right. I used to think like that, and I don't know if it was my mom or a friend of mine, someone. I was in college, and I was like, I do not want anybody that has kids. I just saw the baby mama drama, and I did not want them. Like my father has 4 kids by 4 different women.
Wow.
Yeah. So but my father is an incredible dad. And someone had to point that out to me. What an amazing father.
I don't believe her. Your dad had 4 kids by 4 different women, and you think your dad was an incredible dad. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Girl, he does this little weird walk thing that that I do. Girl, when I'm going up my stairs, when I'm going up my when I'm sorry, actually I'm seeing myself walking up my stairs doing that.
My dad is, and could you not love someone who has children? That changed my mindset and perspective on dating a man with children.
Wow.
Because of how amazing my dad was, how he honored my mother with the other women to make sure she never felt inferior or that there was still anything going on. Because you have those issues too. So I changed my mind on that. But as a woman, and we're getting older, how do you wrap your mind around I'm still holding on to wanting to date somebody who doesn't have kids when that opportunity for us naturally is fleeting?
2 things. One, I dated, my first fiance had no kids. Look how good God is. He gave me all the experience to choose. My first fiance had no kids. My second one had kids. 2 totally different men. The relationship with no kids is more the relationship for me, regardless. And so through my experiences, I know the no kid guy, that's my guy. I'm able to be fully open, fully present with him. That's my thing. I just have to have that. That's a non-negotiable. The second thing is, faith is an action word. And, I was a little girl in the inner city, a product of 2 parents who were teenagers. My mom was addicted to the drug that my father sold. And she's now sober, thank God. She's killing the game. VP of my company, got her own business. She's just doing her thing. And my father has transitioned. Last year he passed away, but before he passed away, he was a family man. He was a longshoreman, he was working, so he transitioned out that lifestyle. I say that to say that God took a little girl in the inner city with abandonment issues and took my broken pieces and made peace from me. He took a little girl in the inner city and took me from the hood to the hills. And there hasn't been one promise he hasn't kept or doubled down on. And so when I had that conversation with God, he texts me and he says, I'm confused. How much more do I need to do for you to trust that what you want will prevail? How much more do I need to do for you to understand that maybe it's your career that I need you to do right now? Because if you
So this feels like prosperity gospel, and I'm here for it. But I feel like Black people should lean more into prosperity gospel if they're gonna. If you're gonna be Christian, lean into the prosperity gospel. But this is wild talking about. Maybe I should, because I grew up Baptist in Jamaica. Most of them, this is Baptist. So like hearing people say, everything you want, God will give it to you, like a genie. Like you just gotta you gotta rub God the right way, and He'll give you whatever you want. Like Christina Aguilera, I don't see it this way, but I ain't gonna fight her. I ain't gonna fight her on it. But like this is wild. Like God told me He gonna give me everything I want. Everything though. Period. I like that God for you.
Have that husband, the type of woman that you are that loves the way you love, you might just put this career aside. And I know how you are. And so let me do what I do if you're going to be in my will. And because of my faith in him and the way he shows up every day, I would be completely dishonoring him and myself, completely disrespecting God and myself to believe or disbelieve that the desires of my heart won't come to pass. And so I'm that woman. I understand Abraham and Sarah. I'm not saying I want to wait till I'm 80, but what happened with Sarah? She wanted a baby and she wasn't barren, right? And Abraham was 80 and she said, well, go and have a baby with the maid. And as soon as he got the maid pregnant, Sarah ended up pregnant. And God said, you just couldn't wait a little longer. And then when the maid got pregnant, Sarah said, get rid of this, excuse my language, but she got to go because now I'm bearing your child. And Abraham was such a G and such a good man. And Sarah, he told the maid, good day. God had a conversation with the maid in the desert and said, listen, you go back because you don't know who you're carrying. You go back. You carrying what Sarah was supposed to carry because Sarah couldn't wait for me.
I love it.
Baby, listen, ain't no maid finna be pregnant with my blessing. I refuse. And I believe and trust that when it's right, it'll happen. And I really know that is what allows me.
Wait, that's the takeaway from that story you got. The takeaway from the story is ain't no maid finna be pregnant with my. By the way, she's so elitist, and I don't dislike that. I don't dislike her elitism. But this is nasty work. this is nasty work. Nasty work. I promise you, this is some condescending, classist, disgusting, diabolical, woman-hating, man-worshipping, black male-worshipping, nasty work. It is. It is. It is. Just you can enjoy it all you want, but just know this is what that is. Ain't no maid finna be pregnant with my blessing. It ain't yours.
Not to react or be in despair when I'm dating. That's what gives me the verticalness of being able to stand vertical in what I want and not waver in it, because God's like, what you want to do? Because you're going to get your blessing either way. You're either going to get it after the maid gets it, or you're going to wait and have what you want. And guess what? I'll wait. I'll wait.
So something similar to that. I was on the Dear Future Wifey with Latarius Whitfield, and he asked me about.
I love him, by the way.
I know, isn't he amazing?
Latarius, I love you.
Yeah, shout out Latarius. And he was asking me about having children. I said, I'm so sick of people saying, like, I feel like as a woman, women in our 40s, it is the most annoying question is, when you gonna have some babies? You know, and I told him, I said, I'm tired. My answer is just stay out of my uterus. Like, people, I have a friend that literally DMs me like every few months, have you frozen your eggs yet? Have you frozen your eggs yet? I'm like, oh my gosh, seriously. And I told him, I said, I'm in a space now where I waited too late. I went to the doctor and she was like, it's too late to freeze your eggs because you don't want to freeze them. And then only one may survive. And she said, so.
They told you what? All right, girl. I mean, got pregnant and was still living at home right under Marino's, having birthday parties for the son that looks like him the most. Right? But I don't even care. That's fine. It's fine. Like, if doctor is telling you, did they even give you a test? Like, they looked at you and they're like, oh, you're 40, ain't no eggs. Absolutely. I have went to many. Let me not put people business out there, but that's a wild thing, because based on my experience trying to freeze eggs, like, when they're going over the age ranges, obviously it decreases, I think at 30, 35, that the amount that you produce severely decreased for a lot of women. But like, they don't test you or anything. That's wild. Okay, yes, I'm that friend. If I have all of my women friends, they know exactly who to call when they need moral support for all kinds of foolishness. And this is not foolishness, but for everything happening in life, in their business, and I don't drive. Let me be very clear. I do not drive. So how I get them from point A to point B with me is diabolical. Thank God for Uber. Thank God for Uber Comfort. Thank God for the black cars. I can't. No. Every time any of my girlfriends get into like relationship, the man inevitably comes to me to have a heart-to-heart about expectations that I've put on him. Every single time. I don't think I've ever had a friend like that's close to me where they got into a relationship and the man didn't, jokingly usually, come to me talking about I just don't know why you did this to me. Girl, what I do to you? Open that car door, pay for that food. One of my friends was like, look, I can't come out on a date with you because like you said 50-50 and my friend, like he doesn't even do 50-50. So that's just not going to work for me. I've been spoiled. I'm like, period. And what of it? They're still together. But 50-50 is nasty work. It was a joke. He was joking. He already paid.
At this point, you just try to get pregnant naturally. And I was like, okay. And same, I used the Abraham and Sarah analogies exactly like you did. And I said, you know what, where I am, where my faith is, if it's meant to be, it will happen, you know, and it's going to be a healthy pregnancy. The baby's going to be healthy and live a great life, but I can't put that pressure on myself. Yeah. But I do feel like because of the same way, I literally said this, we may be between where have you been? Because I told a friend, I said, you know, I used to pray like, God, I have everything, but this one component, like, why am I missing the love? Like, I want somebody to share this beautiful life with. And I'm telling you, I would like sit in my room and be really sad, walk into this big, beautiful home, sad to not have anyone to share it with.
The big home, feeling homeless.
Baby, it's a real thing.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there and I was like, but I was like, God literally said, if I brought you that, I know how you are. I'm always like, what you need, how can I help? And I would have been putting so much into that person that I would have let my career go by the wayside. That would have been, and I look back at relationships and I'm like, dang, I wonder what it would have been like. It wouldn't have been like this,
right?
You know, because there's an amount of energy that you have to put into your career to get to the level that you want to get to. So I'm with you on that. That's good.
Yeah, and I'm awake. God blesses the bold, and He blesses at the level of our belief, right?
Does,
and so anything that we want, I feel like once we pray, and every thought and every word's a prayer, prayer is not just this. I feel like it goes out to the download system, and it sits there waiting for our belief to align with it. When our belief aligns with it, it downloads. And I use.
Yeah, what Bible these people reading? Wait, your belief is prior that goes into the download system, and when your faith and belief align with that which you want, it downloads. Yeah, girl, send me which part of the Bible you're reading, because I like this Bible. I don't know about anyone else, but I'm here for this Bible. This law of this sounds like what's her? Oh my God, I don't know her name. But you know that lady that talks about the vortex. This lady that talks about the vortex, and you need to pull things into. This sounds like law of attraction, The Gift, Oprah Winfrey. Like, ain't no way, absolutely not. This is like I've heard this lady. She's an older white lady. She wrote the book called The Gift. I think she wrote the book called The Gift, and she has like 2 personalities. And she's always talking about that vortex that you, Esther or something. I don't know, girl. Ain't nobody care.
I was poking at God more like I think maybe about 10 years ago or so, and I was like, "Why are you taking so long?" You know, and I'm not gonna lie, I was actually mad at him. I was mad, and I said, "I'm mad at you," and he's like, "Well, let's talk about it." Right, I want to talk to you.
Yeah, I think it's Esther Hicks. Thanks, gorgeous. I think it's Esther Hicks or Abra. One of them. I don't remember. One of them girls. I don't.
Mad at you. He's like, "Well, woman, I created you, so I know exactly what to say to get you to talk to me." And I was like, "You do." And so we, had this conversation, and he said, "What have I told you to trust me? That I know where I'm going with this, and that I know your heart, I know the plans." And I said, "I commit to trusting you." And he said, "Listen, you've always said that you didn't want to be." I always use Kobe Bryant because I love him. One of my favorite players, rest in peace. You always said you didn't want to be Kobe Bryant's wife. You wanted to be Cheyenne Bryant, who's married to Kobe Bryant. Wow. He said, "So let me establish you." And you know what it says, right? It says, "Those who wait upon the Lord will renew their strength." He said, "I will establish you and make you perfect. You'll mount up on wings like eagles. You're walking, not get weary. You're running, not faint." Baby, I'm doing all those things.
Right now, you're doing all those things.
And I'm more vertical and more healthy than I've ever been. I told my best friend about a month ago, I said, "Girl, I'm the healthiest I've ever been." And I'm not just talking about like because I got, money and content. This is before even all this viral shit even happened. I was like, "Girl, I'm the healthiest I've never felt so full." And I want to tell the women, my prayer was, "God, okay, if you're gonna have me wait, no problem. Can we negotiate?" And he said, "What?" Because he knows how I am. He's like, "What, woman?" I said, "Can you just fill me up, top me off, as though I already have the husband, as though I already have the kids, so that the despair and in the turmoil doesn't cause a conflict where I can't show up in your will. I want to show up full for you." And he said, "Bet, you got a deal." And I'm not playing. I have been filled up and topped off as though the husband and the kids. I've been so full, so full. And this has been for the past maybe 3 or 4 years. I just been full. And so I don't feel the lack of there not being a presence of my husband and my kids. I'm on full. So by the time the husband does get here, I'm choosing again from my fullness. I'm not choosing from my deficit. And got to do it. I'm telling you, anything you ask.
Without the whole, because her and I just have a different understanding of God. But I do like the idea that you establish yourself before you like commit to someone, so you are not enveloped in their life, but both lives come together. Like, I think that's good. But like putting that under God is wild when you should submit under God. The man is the head, girl. Ain't nobody trying to hear none of this.
Oh, he will. I'm a living witness.
He'll do it. And so, to your point, it's funny the doctor told you were too old. The doctor been telling me, let's freeze your eggs. You have 8 follicles over here, and you have 11 follicles over here. Let's do it. But see, and then that's what I mean by just people going to get expert advice on certain things. It's like you got to get a second, third opinion. Because right, and I haven't frozen, but my doctor's like, "You're 42." I'm like, "I know, freeze. You got follicles." I'm like, "I know."
But even that process, people don't talk about how hard that is on the body going through that. It's a lot.
The hormone shots, they have to put your body in the phase as though you are.
We don't talk about that. And everyone's like, "Just go freeze your eggs." I'm like, "You go like." You want me to? That's a
process
whole process I have to put my body through while
to
I'm
put
still
a
trying
dye
to
in you to
function.
see the eggs are pooling out. Yes, it
It's
is.
a lot, and I'm.
I know. You know what? So if I do decide to do it natural without, I ain't frozen eggs yet, but I do know that I told God, we'll see if God aligns with my plan. He usually does it, but I tried it. I did say by the end of next year, I want to be in a place of where I'm doing the do with someone who's going to be my forever do, and we're just in our baby making season. But I told God I don't want it until it's on His time.
Yes.
But to sustain me, keep me topped off, because
I told God, and we're negotiating with God, that I want this next year, but it's all in God's time. So I'm not really asking for a specific time. Didn't you she just be talking. I think she just talks. She just like to hear herself talk, which is fine.
I love it here. I love it here. So I'm like, I keep it here. And it's easier for me to stay directly in your will.
Yeah, I love that. It seems like one of your non-negotiables, which is having a man who has children, kind of also is in direct line with the broken homes that you talk about. And I saw you first. My first introduction to you was on Cam Newton's show, and you talked about broken homes and broke that down to him. What was it that you saw with your father in your childhood that made you say, hey, I do not want to repeat this? And then also, what are some things that we can communicate just to help communicate better about that, so that we can try to, I know it's going to be hard to stop because it's so deeply rooted, but what are some things that we can help our Black families understand how we can break this cycle?
Yeah, I love that. Similar to your father, my dad was just the daddy of the year. He was, again, a street dude. And so I'm a product of a street dude at that time when I was young. So, he was providing for sure.
How is your daddy a street dude and the father of the year? You know your daddy's a street dude, but he's the fat. All right, girl, let me hear this. I mean, period.
Yeah, we had the street money.
Listen.
He was definitely protecting because he was a very well-respected OG in his neighborhood. And so the provision, the protection was there, but he was a womanizer. He always had multiple women. He didn't hide that.
How is he father of the year? But what? I think she's being sarcastic. No, she's explaining how he's great. No. I don't think this is sarcasm. She's literally saying he provided, he protected. That's it.
That to me or my siblings, he wasn't the daddy who would, hide his hand, but tell you something else. He was very transparent.
Yeah.
And what I love most about him is he would always tell me, if a man looks like me, speaks like me, smells like me, does anything like me, no, red flag. Do not date him. It's a no, and you damn sure better not bring him home.
Wow.
Because
you cannot date anyone who is like me, but he's father of the year. Your dad does not want you to date a man like him, but he is. Period. I think she's delusional. So there's that.
Somebody would end up dead or in jail. Don't do it. And I stuck to that. But I remember there was one time I was dating a guy, and he was a street guy, and I really was liking him, and I was like, "Ooh, daddy," and he did give me the daddy vibes, my daddy vibes.
Yeah.
And I remember my dad seen a picture and was like, "No." And my dad called me every day, Crystal, for 2 weeks, 2 or 3 times a day.
Yeah.
Get rid of him. Get rid of him. Of course, I got rid of him.
Yeah.
But wasn't because my dad said it. It's because my dad was right. He was right. And so for me, I just feel like when you start to create all these houses that are homeless, I think it's a self-projection of men who are overcompensating for what they've been missing.
Yeah.
I think that they are projecting onto all these houses, which is a whole generation of kiddos and women, their mommy issues, their daddy issues, and their own inadequacies. I think it's unfair to the kids. And no matter how good of a father you are, just like your father, you can't be in the home with all of us.
No.
But you think he was your dad? You except your dad.
And so I'm not waking up on Christmas morning with you. I'm still having to either travel to you, right, or you to me. And it's just unfair to all the other kids. There's 7 of us, and we're all, close for the most part. My sister, who is not, she's my father's daughter. She's not my mother's daughter. She's at my home now with my mom, staying there because she lives in Vegas, but she has a new job in LA. And she calls my mom Mama. My mom cooks for her. My mom cleans behind her. My mom packs her lunch to go to work, Crystal. My mom, they go get massage. When they FaceTime me, it's her and Mama. And so I love, this is where the oxymoron comes on. I love that it's 7 of us, and I love that I'm the oldest. And I love that my mama is the mama to all of them. But I tell my mom, you have to be built a certain way to do that. And she always says, yeah, but I was the first baby mama. I said, that's right, Mama. She said, if I wasn't the first, I wouldn't have did it, Shy. She said, so Mama agrees with you. Go get you a man. Like I thought I had with your dad, where there's no kids and start your own family. She said, all I wanted was a family. Didn't know he was going to go out and, have multiple kids. So I just feel like it's a disservice to everybody who's involved until everyone gets to a place of maturity and becoming older. And we're able to process how do we blend and how do we all equally get our love and our time with this parent.
That's right. I love that. So I get it. I totally understand why you do that. You are the president of the NAACP.
I am.
And we just had an election. I also worked on Capitol.
But I think most importantly is the messages to Kamala is that to address those groups, start the conversation, and really start to try to mobilize people. They showed I was gonna run. They do need the people who came before them, who are running. Say that, or go to a really good Abraham Hicks video on YouTube where she talks about law of attraction, the essence of who you are, and it's really beautiful and it's really light and it's really fun and new coaches on how to apply my hybrid better. I mean, I'm so proud of my students, and so I have my speaking tour every weekend for the next. Other thing is the Bible says marriage is for disciplined people. You were just speaking. You're doing life is on life, and they're teaching you that when y'all get to this space, when you get to this Red Sea, don't get weary and well doing it a split, right? And so it's telling you, and that's her family. If she wants.
I was trying to find, there was a part someone said where she said that if she's married and her man cheated, she's not leaving. She's
really good men.
What's missing? Like, what are those things that you're like, that's what
I love this. I love this. So I have this thing where I tell my clients this all the time, even the ones who are already married. I said, did you choose marriage or did you choose him or her? I understand that personally, but I understand that because I've been helping with. And so when you choose a person, that's when marriage lasts. Because if I'm choosing you, I'm plugged into you. And that means that I literally can't go outside of you and find another you. But if I choose marriage, I can take that title and put that on anybody, right? Can I really choose you? Like when things get hard, am I willing to just forgive you about everything? Because I'm not leaving my husband. And that's why I don't think women are men who stay through any,
Not I found it. Wait, not I found it. This is it. This is it. This is the foolishness that someone sent me. This clip right here.
Then it's a no. Can I really choose you? Like when things get hard, am I willing to just forgive you about everything? Because I'm not leaving my husband. And that's why I don't think women are men who stay through anything except abuse, of course, are done. You know, I don't think, Ivy asked me on Breakfast Club, he said, do you think if a woman stays in a marriage after she's been cheated on, she's dumb? I said, I don't think she's dumb. No, that's her husband. That's her family. If she wants to stay, I think she needs to get the right tools to learn how to be in an infidelity relationship, right? Because it takes a shift in who you are as a woman, so that you can still be submissive to this man and still treat him as a king and not see him as less valuable in that. So for me, it's like, will I, God forbid, you end up stepping out on me or doing things that dishonor me because you're human, not because you're a bad man. Will I want to work that out with you because you're just my person? When that presents itself, I'm locking in. I'm having babies, and I don't condone the cheating, but I'm not leaving my husband. I'll leave a man. I'm not leaving my husband.
Your husband, exactly. I was watching something on, all these. It's a lot of relationship talk on Instagram, and I cannot remember who it was, but he was saying that
on that dusty note, on that dusty, I am asking and I'm advertising to the world that I'm okay with being cheated on. Why you got his phone? Anyway, on that dusty note, let me show you.
You're lying.
Let me show you something before we go to bed. You know, I'm not responding to that. That's her life. That is her life. She is free to do with her life what she wants. Period.
Bro, you are screwed if that's what you're judging this individual based on how they look on your arm.
Yes.
But it's a consequence of his own need for validation from the person he's with. And then it's no surprise that the other correlation you see is those people are probably still single. Those are my friends that are still single. The ones that care the most about that can currently have the lowest self-esteem are also the ones that are still missing probably great people for looking at the wrong things.
There you go. That's why we need to be in a state of flourishing ourselves before we go out there. Because here's the thing, if he was able to just take a breather, work on his self-esteem.
Facts.
There's so many things you could do, boost your self-esteem. Think of how incredible his next relationship would be.
Facts.
Yeah. Self-esteem is really where it's at. Like it's underrated.
That's so interesting, this idea that when we have low self-esteem, we'll care more about how the person looks because they are.
Girl, I didn't introduce this clip. This man is the podcaster, and the other one is a man that said that his wife liquidated her, I think it's 401k, her savings, retirement savings to invest in his business. So the other guy, not him, the other guy has done what Dr. Umar is telling y'all to do. So that.
we believe that they can boost our self-esteem by just being next to them. That's crazy.
Yeah, and well, more so, we believe that society accepts them, and we won't be shamed by.
This one right here speaking for his business, his wife liquidated her retirement savings in order to give him money and invest in him for his business. So that's who is speaking.
By society as a result of being with them, right? Because we want the validation from society when we have low self-esteem. But if you have high self-esteem, you say, you know what, this is my partner. And I don't care what you think. Yeah, it doesn't matter what you think. I'm happy.
Yeah.
Then you can walk down the street with anyone.
And if you...
What color you think? Who you think gonna liquidate their assets and give it to their man? Unlike Dr. Umar is pushing out there. Who you think? Because Dr. Umar was not correct.
Encountered in your work as a matchmaker back in the day, someone who was low self-esteem, what would you suggest them to do? Would it be therapy? Was it something small they could do in their life, a first step they could take?
Yeah, I mean, so what we would do with the agency is we would not even start matchmaking them until we went through months and months and months of coaching, right? Now, what are some things that you could do, practical things you could do? It's about practicing self-compassion is a great way to boost self-esteem. So that could be journaling, that could be meditating, that could be exercising. It also is about setting goals, achievable goals, and accomplishing those goals. That helps to boost your self-esteem. On the pathway to mastering something, boost self-esteem.
You know what I should not have done? I should not have stand up to put that up. I should not have done that because I've been ignoring y'all in the chat and y'all refuse. Y'all refuse to be ignored. Y'all refuse to be ignored. And I'm going to continue to ignore. I am going to continue to ignore y'all. I am. I'm going to ignore y'all.
For example, during lockdown, I started learning the piano, right? Started learning it. And once I got to phase 2 of my little piano, at home tutorial, I got a little boost. Okay, I can do a little thing. And then I played Wu-Tang Clan, Cash Rules Everything Around Me. I did Cream on my piano. And just doing that boosts self-esteem, right? So the mastery of something small, self-compassion, surrounding yourself with other people who have self-esteem, high self-esteem. These are some basic ways to help to boost it.
I was thinking a lot about this, and I said to one of my friends the other day about this idea of keeping commitments to yourself. And I think I was talking about it with Chris Williams as well, about the commitments we keep to ourselves when no one is watching feed into our...
All right. Well, if you came in and you saw the thumbnail, you can see that I played some of it. I got a pack, and both of them boring me. Ain't nothing going on in this podcast. I'm not sure. They said to start at 43 minutes. I started at 43 minutes, and I'm still bored. I'm still bored. So that's that on that. Let's go into the after show right quick. That's how you say it, right? Right quick. Let's go into the after show right quick. For those of you who are here, if you're in school, please remember that the end of this month, December 31st at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, please submit the 500-word essay. The prize is $3,000 for the winner. Please remember that it's supposed to be the minimum 500, the maximum 600, double space, Times New Roman, 12-point font, PDF only, and the submission deadline. Please, please, please follow these instructions. 500 words is not a lot. It is not a lot. All right. I appreciate you all so much. Happy holidays. I have a video. Please, I'm going to at 6 p.m. on Friday. I might be in a different time zone, but I'm going to try to make sure it's 6 p.m. Friday. On 6 p.m. Friday, I'm going to try to release a video. I've pre-recorded. Oh yeah, no AI. On 6 p.m., no citations required. No citations required. I was going to have it fully with you don't need a citation. What was I saying? yeah, I recorded a video and I really, really want you all to watch it and interrogate some ideas with it. I'm thinking I might do a Christmas stream because I don't think I'm going home for Christmas. I'm just going away to celebrate my birthday, and then I'm going to come back before Christmas. And I don't feel like getting on the plane again to go home, so I'm not going to do that. So I'll be here. I don't know. I'll try to make a live stream for Christmas. I don't know yet, but yeah. All right. Thank you all so much for hanging with me. I truly appreciate all 730 of you all for having been here. Now we're at 559. Thank you all. I do really appreciate you all. I don't think you all understand how much energy and love and kindness I feel on here. Thank you. Also, I need to note this for people reaching out to me asking about me in fights with people. There is no one online that I'm in a fight with. I love everyone, care for everyone. There's no issue going on behind the scenes with anyone. I just wanted to put that out there because I know a lot of people have reached out to me concerned. I promise you, if we were ever friends, we're still friends. Unless you're selling crypto online. If the moment... let me not be messy. Thank you all so much. Have a wonderful day. Happy holiday. Well, oh, Trump is gonna be president. Merry Christmas. I ain't friendly. I don't, y'all try to tame who it ain't enough for you. Oh, if you want to keep up with me, by the way, go to my Instagram. Someone said I should promote my Instagram. It's all me all the time. So you can go to my Instagram. I wish I knew the name. Don't remember the name of my Instagram, but never mind. I actually don't remember the name of my, I don't it don't matter. I don't care. Bye.